All right, good evening, everyone. We are live on SpeedGaming with Chrono Trigger Jets of Time. I am Lord Batsy, and I will be hosting this race along with JD. And this evening, we're going to be showing off of our less commonly seen flags. Normally, we do kind of typical straight Jets of Time races, but today we're going to show off both Chrono Sanity and Tab Sanity, which we affectionately call Crab Sanity. The Chrono Sanity mode means that the key items are going to be more likely hidden in treasure chests rather than behind just checks, completing dungeons and bosses and things like that. And a Tab Sanity replaces all of the typical treasure in the treasure chests with tabs: Power Tab, Magic Tab, Speed Tab. And in addition to this, we're also playing with the hard mode flag. The hard mode flag does a couple of things. The most notable thing it does is it buffs a lot of the bosses. And to balance all of that nuttiness, we are going to also be playing with free shops. So whatever is in the shops, which is completely random, will be free. So this is just going to be a very interesting time, I think. We have our runners, AzureCale, Proccy, and MrScruffNinjaTuna. We're getting ready to get started in a few minutes here.
Yeah, and it's really interesting to see, these racers. I'm familiar with most of them: AzureCale, Procky, Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna. Um, I know Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna from ALTTPR, so it's cool to see, crossing over into Chrono Trigger Jets of Time. And those flags that you mentioned and explained very nicely. Thank you so much, Lord Batsy. I
Oh, you're
am
welcome.
really excited to see that because with the way that the chests work, like you explained in Chrono Sanity or in Tab Sanity, all of the items are going to be tabs. But normally that's where you get a lot of gear, right?
Indeed.
So missing a lot of gear, but getting a lot of tabs to make up for it. But then you got your free shop. So we'll see how that goes. Have you done one of these before?
I have not run one of these before. So this is pretty new to me. I've watched a couple of Chrono Sanity runs. I don't know. I'm not that familiar with Crab Sanity. So this is going to be very interesting. Anyone out there who's familiar with typical Jets of Time, this is going to be something a little bit different, and I think it'll be pretty fun.
Yeah, I actually did. So I think I don't know if it was Azure Kale or if it was somebody else that sent a practice seed for this mode. I was thinking about playing tonight versus coming, but so I gave it a try, and it is nutty, like you said. You're just like, what do I do? And then you go to a shop, and everything costs 1 gil or one. What is it called in Chrono Trigger? The
Just
gold.
G. It's just a G, so I guess
It's
it's
just a
gold.
G. Okay, all right, gold works. But yeah, so having all the tabs and the way when I played it, I was stuck on a certain set of characters at first and used all my tabs early on and then decided to switch later and still had plenty of tabs to max out everybody's strength. So it was really fun. So I'm excited to see how this goes.
Yeah, I think this will be a fun race.
And for those in chat who may be wondering, Lord Batsy got first place last week in the Chrono Trigger restream. How do you feel about being a superstar winner, Lord Batsy?
I feel very, very blessed that I got that crisis arm, but thank you.
Yeah, that came in pretty clutch. It
I
was great.
I was able to beef up my robo very nicely and come and take the race. So thank you.
Yeah,
Okay,
for sure.
looks like the runners are getting set up.
Yeah, they're just hashing some last little details out in the race room. I think we've already got some of them readying up, so it should be getting started here pretty soon. But the other thing that's really interesting for this mode while I was playing it is all the places you don't normally go. So sometimes, like in a
Yes.
standard seed, you go to just the places that'll give you key items, basically. There's a
Yeah,
few
key
other
items are
things.
characters, maybe
Right.
shops, but
Yeah. But like, and I'm not gonna get all the names. Like the mountain in the vanilla game where you first go to 600 AD,
yeah,
like
Truce Canyon.
Truce Canyon.
Um, well, we might see Lab 16 and 32 here.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
So that's really cool.
very possibly the factory too. That's normally just sort of your alternate way to get magic if you can't get the gate key, but there's a lot of treasure in there, so that's a
Yep.
place to check as well.
And one thing I'm not entirely familiar with is the density of all of those locations. So this is something that might be good to know, you know, um, as a runner, like how dense is each of these locations, and how long does it take? Which I think they're familiar with that aspect, but the density is one thing. Oh,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in some cases, it's learning a lot of skips you might not know. Lab 16 in particular, that I imagine could be really, really slow if you don't know how to get through it really quickly. There's a lot of places enemies will jump you.
yeah, those skips can really be important. Save you a lot of time.
Oh yeah.
All right. According to the race room, all of the runners look to be ready to go. So
All right.
should be getting started. Oh, okay. We got a message in chat. Metroid is fixing the crops for Mr. Scruff, just to
Ah, yes.
make it look pretty. And just another point of mention, we also have Mian as our tracker, and MS Metroid as our restreamer for SG. Um, so big thank you to Mian for tracking for us today. I think you already said that, but just doubling up on it. It's really important. You don't hear them, but they do a very important job, especially the more runners on the screen, the more difficult and challenging it can be to follow all the items that are being had, and especially on Chrono Sanity, where
Mhm.
any chest can be a key item. You got to really keep your eyes on it.
Yeah, we don't know when the key items will pop up. It won't just be when someone finishes a boss. It can be any time.
Exactly.
So we will appreciate any help from chat for things that we
Absolutely.
miss, because this is possibly going to go pretty fast.
Oh, another thing that I remember talking about, man, I think it was with Takenu, who was mentioning that um, sometimes in this mode, it can be really hard to find. Or wait, is it this mode? No, I think it was Lost Worlds, actually. Never mind. That's useless info. I was going to say it could be hard to find ethers because you're missing out on so many shops from 600 and 1000 AD, but you definitely have those in this mode.
Yeah, that's more so Lost World. Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, if anyone out there is interested in giving Jets of Time a try, please come join us on our Discord, and you can look at our website, which is ctjot.com. We'd love to have you. All right. I get going. I see Ayla and Chrono.
There we go. We are off. Well, I think Ayla's probably going to stick it out through the whole seed.
Wouldn't surprise me.
And if anybody's newer to Chrono Trigger Jets of Time, this is just, the little initiate starting scene that everybody has to go through, and then it'll plop you up on the epic, and from there, it's an open world.
Yep. You start with access to 1000 AD and 600 AD, and as you open up progression, you can get to the other time periods. All right, we're checking the boxes in Fiona's house first thing. Okay. Truce Canyon for Mr. Scruff.
All right, seeing Mr. Scruff change his battle speed and...
No.
And I think I was talking with somebody about the specifics of...
Oh.
Ooh,
Almost pop.
all right. Key item this early on.
He had him out of Frog's Chrono.
Yeah, and it was almost in sync too with AzureCale and Procky getting it like
Mm-hmm.
at the same time. But yeah, I was talking to somebody about the specifics of the tabs, and I think it ended up being like a 55% chance of a magic tab, or 50% magic tab, 45% power tab, and 5% speed tab.
That sounds about right. We have estimated about 2 hours and 45 minutes for the run, but it is, as Kyuketsuki says, this run we don't know how long exactly it will take because these items could be just about anywhere.
Yeah, AzureCale was also mentioning that you can like find multiple key items in one dungeon, but the chances of it are lower and lower.
Yes.
So, but you could get a seed where, let's say, you go to one of your first dungeons and you find 3 key items, and they're all what you need for go mode. So, it might be fast.
Yep, you never know. Right, AzureCale heading into Guardia Forest to do a little bit of grinding.
So I'm surprised nobody's gone to a shop just yet. I think that would be
Yeah,
like
that's true.
my first thing with the free shops. You might find some good gear. Just stock up on everything now, and
a barrier at Snail Stop.
I don't know if I'd pay 10K for a barrier at this early.
No.
Well, actually, they're free, right? Everything's free.
Not at Snail Stop.
Yeah, that's true.
Otherwise, everything only costs 1, as we can see Mr. Scruff taking advantage of there, and Pori.
Was that tailspin for Ayla?
I missed it, but that would be very fortunate if it was.
I believe so. And I couldn't see if it was spin cut or something else for Chrono. Oh, one question I had, Lord Batsy. Do you
Yes.
know when you go to like where you would normally get a key item, can those still have a key item?
They can, I believe, but I think it's fairly unlikely.
Okay.
But every spot has something in it, just as Snail Stop had a barrier in it. Okay, so we're about to find out what the carpenter's wife has.
Just the lapis.
Just a lapis, yep.
So, do you know? Oh, so I'm gonna be asking a lot of questions, so
It's
I'm
all
a
good.
little newer. With the key item checks, like the carpenter's wife, for example, that was a lapis, which is normally a little bit higher tier item. Are those likely to be higher tier, or are they still pretty random?
That's actually a good question, and I am not sure.
Okay, but can they be tabs too? I'm sorry, I'm so full of questions.
They probably can be tabs. I'm sure that if I were to go look into our GitHub and look at the scripts, I could figure it out. I haven't looked at the Chrono Sanity shuffling one too hard. Okay, Mr. Scruff is gonna take the market fight in Medina.
And one thing I noticed, I can't remember if it was Mr. Scruff or AzureCale using those power tabs, but they look like +4. So those are as strong as the power tabs can be in Chrono Trigger Randomizer.
Indeed. The power tabs are randomized to give you between +2 and +4 power. The magic tabs are randomized to give you between +1 and +3 magic, and the speed tabs are unchanged because those were already good enough, because speed is pretty much the best stat.
Yeah, never underestimate speed in this game. It's so useful. It helps you run away from fights more easily without taking damage. It helps you deal a lot more damage in time before getting a party wipe.
Well,
It's so
some
useful.
red vests at Melchior's house. Given that Son of Sun is a check, those can be useful in other modes, but I don't know. Given that you'd only get one item for going in, we might not be seeing Sun Palace until the end if people get desperate.
Very true. I don't know if you saw this as well, but there were lapises there. Lapises? Lapi? I don't know the plural.
Lapises, probably.
But I think AzureCale stocked up on 99 of those.
Yep. That is wise. They normally cost 10,000, so that is a huge discount. Runners are very spread out. Everyone is still going around kind of gathering their early game things, I think. Demon Edge for Chrono is not bad. I'll be interested to see if any of the runners use Chrono. I tend to kind of stan him maybe a little more than other people, but if you get a good sword on him, he could be very powerful, and Confuse does hit more times than Triple Kick for fewer MP, so there's a decent balance there. And of course, paired with Ayla, he's great.
Yeah, for sure. I'm also one that tends to kind of bench him more often than not. Him and Marley, for me, just don't do the trick. Most of the time I play a seed with Chrono in it, I never seem to find a good sword for him, so I...
Alright, Mr. Scruff heading into the cathedral for the Nagaet fight.
Right.
This is gonna give him another character after this.
Alright, down it goes. We'll see what the next character
Alrighty.
here is.
And it's Luca. Very nice.
I'm sure he's happy to see that. Luca plus Isla in tap sanity mode. You're gonna get some nice blaze kicks.
That's basically my favorite party right there. I would be very happy right now.
Oh really? The Luca Chrono Isla or Ayla?
Yeah, it works pretty well. I really like it. You've got Blaze Kick or you've got Fire Sword too. You can switch into Triple Kick or Confuse if you need to. It's very flexible.
Yeah.
While still allowing for doing lots of different kinds of heavy damage.
And the only thing that is lacking on a team like that is AoE healing, right? Because I don't
Pretty
think Chrono,
much, yeah. But with those lapises costing 1 gold.
Exactly.
So Blaze Kick from the chat. Blaze Kick would go off of Ayla's physical power with the triple kick that she contributes, and then Luca's magic from the fire too.
Yeah, to further on Breakbeat's question there, it's really interesting to see because there's certain things in vanilla that work a certain way, and a few changes here and there to the way it works in Jets of Time. So that's an absolutely great question to ask. Sometimes, like Kyuketsuki is mentioning in chat, Luca and Isla Fire Whirl is used from both of their magic stats. So one thing I got confused on, I think it's with this party. I think I did have this party for a game I played recently, but Luca has a dual tech with both Chrono and Isla called
Fire Whirl. Yep, they both have Fire Whirls.
I definitely messed it up and used the wrong one.
I've absolutely done that before. Like, accidentally used the Chrono one on an enemy that needs to get hit by magic. Yeah.
Yeah.
I try to pick it from Ayla's menu to be sure.
Yeah, that's a good idea, because if it's from her menu, you know it's going to be the
Exactly. Right, Azure picking up Luca. Everybody in different states of cathedral completion.
It's interesting too. You see MrScruffNinjaTuna going to the right side of the cathedral here. I didn't notice if AzureCale did that or not. Oh, is he still going in? Oh,
Yeah, Azure is still in the chapel room.
yeah. But there are chests over here, so it is important to check.
Yeah, most runners skip these, but not in Chrono Sanity. Magic tab, power tab.
Okay. Nothing over there on the right side, so it is still skippable, but...
Yep.
And surprisingly, we haven't seen any key items here in the cathedral.
Not yet, at least.
Right, not yet.
Yeah.
There was also another note while I was reading through the flags. There's a few places that cannot drop a key item, one of which is the desert. Another one is the pendant sequence, the prison sequence after getting the pendant. Those cannot have key items. And then also the hidden tunnel in Reptite Lair, I think is what it is.
Ah, yes, the secret. Ooh, pendant. The
Did we?
pendant was in the chest, just above that collapsing staircase there.
Wow. That's a nice find that I think they will all appreciate, and it opens up the entire future.
Yep. You take the pendant to Guardia Castle, put yourself on trial for stealing it, even though it was just like sitting there, you know, whatever. And then you get future access, and that unlocks, in normal games, 3 more checks, but in this case, several more dungeons.
I really like that additional comment, even though it was just sitting there. Like, hello, it was just sitting here. I liked it once. I think I was playing as Marley as my lead character going into the pendant prison sequence, and it was just like it made me think, like, wait a minute, isn't this her pendant?
It is her pendant, although I don't suppose they care in the vanilla game either when, you know, Chrono gets in trouble for running off with it and her, even though she's like, no, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't care what she thinks.
It's the fake chancellor, right?
Yes. And, oh, Hickey in chat, yes, this is a Chrono Trigger randomizer called Jets of Time. We're playing with kind of a strange flag set right now. Chrono Sanity, which puts the key items in treasure chest, scatters them around the world instead of locking them behind bosses and things as would be typical. We're also playing with Tab Sanity, which replaces the normal treasure with tabs only. We call this Crab Sanity. We're also playing on hard mode, which beefs up some of the enemies, among other things. And to balance all that out, we've got the shops set to free. They can't actually be free, but every item in the shops, which are randomized, costs 1 gold.
So, in short, a very crazy, insane, and super fun mode.
Yes. But if anyone is watching this and thinking that it seems very overwhelming, don't worry. The typical game mode is a lot less insane than this.
Very true. Yes, absolutely. I cannot imagine if I wanted to start and started on this mode.
Oh, goodness. Right, Mr. Scruff is fighting Yakra. Nice flame kick there. Chrono with a confuse. I think that would do it on, yeah, that'll do it.
There we go.
I'm not sure how much hard mode boosts his HP, but that was enough damage.
Yeah. Very nice fight there by MrScruffNinjaTuna. Took down Yakro. Got a sunshades for it. Wow.
Very nice.
So if you're not sure what sunshades do, it boosts damage by 25%. So very nice item to have.
Indeed.
Especially in Tab Sanity, where they're going to be maxed out on power and magic.
Yes, the treasure and gear will also be few and far between.
Mhm.
So our players are going to really want to lean on those tabs.
And another note to that, the fact that the gear is going to be few and far between, that's another huge advantage to getting Ayla as one of your characters, especially as your first character. She does not require a weapon. She's based purely on level and I think for her damage. Or is it
Yep.
just power?
Her power does figure in, but she has a different formula than the weapon users that she uses to calculate her damage. Actually, Luca and Marl have a different one too, because it's based off their hit stat.
Right. Yes, in chat, Prism Specs do it better. That is true. It is plus 50% for Prism Specs. Definitely
They
better
do.
than the Sunshades.
Mhm.
But if you can't have that, then Sunshades still probably takes the lead for the most part.
Indeed. No one's complaining when those drop.
Oh, that's a great question. Oh, Hickey, hit tabs. We need those. I agree. It'd be fun to have a Luca with a wonder shot and maxed out hit. Or does that even matter with the wonder shot?
I think it does some. It the wonder shot is confusing, and it uses a multiplier, I think, based on the frame you're at, but boosts to her hit and her damage do help.
Okay, got it.
Alright, Mr. Scruff, checking out Xenon Bridge, getting a barrier from the chef, and resetting.
Oh, it should be worth noting. I didn't notice this before. MrScruffNinjaTuna got Frog and AzureCale.
Yes. AzureCale getting Frog here now, and Procky is probably about to run upstairs and get Frog. Gonna go to the left side first.
I like that they're checking the castle all over because I remember in the seed that I played, I think there was a treasure like in the castle, one of the castles, and it took me forever to find it. But it should have been an early check, but it took me forever to get it.
It's hard to break your habits, when you're used to running through something one single way. Suddenly you have to check all the chests instead of the ones you usually get.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Scruff is heading into Frog's burrow, so he's probably about to find the Thomas Pop and see that Robo is down here.
And yes, I believe
New!
in a new.
Oh, and Mr. Scruff has caught the new.
But yeah, in Chrono Trigger Jets of Time, the overworld movement definitely is faster than your traditional game.
Yes, both on foot and in the epic, it's been sped up. Just one of the quality of life changes to make it a little smoother.
Unless you're me and you're trying to go into a dungeon and keep walking past it back and forth until I hit the center.
Alright, AzureCale heading into Hecarim's cave.
I like this play simply just because there's obviously lots of chests in here, but you also get a lot of tech points.
Yes.
Tech points is something you do still need to be a bit cognizant of when you're playing seeds like this. You still want
Yes,
to get your character strong.
Hecarim Cave is one of the best early sources of tech points for your characters. The only unfortunate thing is that none of the battles in there can be repeated, so you can't just grind off the fight that gives you 25 tech points. There's this fight in Denadoro here. The one that Mr. Scruff just ran past will give you 8 tech points. That's one of your better grinding opportunities early game.
Yeah, it's nice that that Denadoro fight is repeatable.
Hey, yes.
The Hecarim Cave, I actually really appreciated that it wasn't respawned because last week I was playing in that race and I got all the way to Hecarim and I didn't have any ethers. I ran out of magic fighting. So it was nice
Yes.
that I didn't have to do it all over again, just run
I,
through it.
I was, yeah. As a runner in that race, I was pretty stressed out until I finally found the ethers.
Those were rare.
Yeah, they were. Okay. And yes, chat, we do have the everything costs 1 flag on. We decided to use that because all of the other flags that we're playing with are pretty challenging. So in order to balance the seed, we decided to do the shops are free. So this is a very like unorthodox race that we're playing, but we wanted to show off some of the flags that we don't use as often. So I think that'll be fun.
You know, it's interesting, coming from the ALTGPR community as well. This mode, well, the Chrono Sanity aspect reminds me of ALTTPR because
Right.
that's basically how that is handled in A Link to the Past is, you know, all the chests could have your key items. So,
Yep. Azure going on the sidetrack to Hecarim Cave.
I was just going to point that out too. There is a chest down here that nobody ever tends to get in a regular playthrough, but in this mode, you don't want to leave the single chests behind. I do see Procky is doing Zombor.
Yep.
But this whole sequence, it's only one item, right? Just the one that falls from Zombor?
There's the drops from Zombor and any of the skeletons, and it's the item that the cook gives you, which was
Right.
I see Mr. Scruff just picked up the hero medal.
Oh, nice.
From a chest there.
And we do have a frog.
We do have a frog.
So if anybody's wondering, the hero medal has been buffed tremendously in Chrono Trigger Randomizer. It acts as if it were a Prism Spec, which is 50% damage, and it also gives Frog plus Barrier and plus Shield, which cuts magic and physical damage by a third each.
Yep. And it still buffs the critical hit rate of his Masamune/Grand Leon, as it did in Vanilla.
Yeah, that's important to know.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm seeing on Procky's screen, I think I was incorrect before, the power tabs are +3, and I think the magic tabs are +2.
Okay, not too bad.
Yeah. In the middle for both. Oh, well, I'm glad I got to answer the question before you asked. And on the bottom left, you can see MrScruffNinjaTuna showing us another chest that is not often checked in regular.
Yes, you can jump off the waterfall to grab those 2 chests. They are of a slightly higher tier than the rest of what's in Denadoro, but they're overall not amazing. Of course, here they're all tabs unless they're a key item. Okay, Procky gonna do Denadoro as well.
I think I would skip the Mountains Are Nice one since you're getting so many tabs anyway.
I think in this case, yeah. that seems reasonable.
But at the same time, what's it called? Muscle memory?
Right.
Mus- it's a thing, and it's real.
And mountains are nice. I think the audience likes to see that.
Yeah, yeah. It's good to know that mountains are nice.
Mm-hmm. Alright. That chest. I didn't see if Mr. Scruff grabbed the chest that's at the top of that screen, hidden under the leaves, actually. Unlikely there was anything important in it, especially since the hero medal has already been found here. But there is one right as you're heading out, right at the top of the screen.
Ooh, do we see AzureCale giving Ayla all the magic tabs? Or at least a lot of them?
She got some of them. If Tailspin and Firewhirl are gonna feature heavily, then that is absolutely worth it.
Absolutely.
Luca is a good target for magic tabs, but at the same time, she doesn't necessarily need them the way some other characters really benefit from them, because she's so magically stacked already.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. I am a huge fan of giving some of the less magically inclined characters magic tabs,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the normal games when they're +3, and you can really buff up that tailspin or some of the healing spells from like Frog or Robo.
Yeah, healing spells benefit more from magic tabs, too, so Frog and Robo especially, and I guess Marl to an extent, but she doesn't have a spread heal for
Right.
goodness knows what reason if she's supposed to be the character who's quote-unquote the healer anyway. but but yeah, they help healing quite a bit.
And as you can see there from AzureCale's screen, that tailspin was doing almost 800 damage at level 9. So
Indeed. Alright, Mr. Scruff heading into that Masa and Mune fight. And AzureCale's gonna do an item check with Taban at Luca's house. It's a power ring, which is an accessory.
And this fight against Masamune it's a pretty tough fight at low levels. So
Indeed.
I
Yeah,
think
and
he's
we've
got
got
plenty
hard
of
mode on.
revives. Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm. Okay, 1,000 damage on that flame kick. That's pretty good. At least in a normal mode, this guy would have 3,600 HP. He might have a little more in hard mode.
I also wonder if hard mode increases their damage or defense or anything like that too, because just pretty much one shot Luca there.
It could be, yeah. Well, and, if... I don't know how the armor's been, but, that is a very physically buff boss, so that guy could just punch you in the face and you're done.
But
Alright.
ScruffNinjaTuna managed to take him down just fine.
Mm-hmm.
So
And I did see we're all over the place because this is such a frenetic category we're running, but Procky did get his hero medal.
all right, nice. I think AzureCale is on his way up the mountain now, so
Looks
hopefully
like,
get him
yeah.
too. And like to throw a shout out and a thank you to Saint Von Jester with the raid of 12. Welcome, welcome, and
Yeah.
welcome raiders. We
Welcome
are
and thank
on,
you.
yeah, we are on SpeedGaming 2, doing Chrono Trigger Jets of Time with a lot of fun, crazy flags, including Tab Sanity, Chrono Sanity, Hard Mode, and free shops. So hope you enjoy what you see here.
Okay. Procky heading into that Masa and Mune fight, and AzureCale is entering the screen that we know contains the hero medal.
What I am curious to see is if any player will say they go into one of these dungeons, finds a key item right away, and just leaves.
That's the question, and I mean a good one, because we do know it's fairly unlikely for one dungeon to hold multiple key items in this category. Ah, and I see Azure has gone off the side of the screen so he can run past the freelancer, which is a good idea because that saves him some battles. And he gets the hero medal. Very nicely done.
So Hecarim Cave was empty, right? Like, I
There
think,
was nothing in Hecarim Cave.
yeah. That always kind of feels bad when you go into a dungeon and you find no key items at all. 'Cause then that it
Yeah.
feels even worse than a normal seed, you know?
Yes, because usually, even if it's not progress, you could usually do something with what they give you. Maybe not always. You know, sometimes you're just going to get the Robo's ribbon and you're not going to be getting Robo.
Right.
But... All right, Procky's through Masa and Mune. Nice little sneak around by Azure there to grab that chest above the birds.
Yeah, I've seen people skip the fight, but I've never seen them go back to get that chest. So
Yeah,
that's
that's really impressive because that fight is triggered. I think it's triggered. That's a really weird one. It's like a horizontal borderline or something. So I usually run right all the way across, and then once I'm like on the opposite bank of the water, then I know it's safe to go up. So
ah,
I'm impressed by anyone who could sneak around without doing that.
yeah, that's nice. Okay, so we did see AzureCale grab that hidden chest from before, and it was just a
Yep,
power tab, I think. I think he
just a
ran
power
into
tab. Yeah, but that's a good chest to know about, if, especially if you're ever going to touch this category.
it for sure. Some other places that you might see, the Northern Ruin, Ozzy's Fort.
Yes.
Those are all places that have chests, and then that could have your progression.
Anywhere there's chests, I mean, we could be seeing houses in the villages. We've already seen several of them that we might not normally see. Procky's back in the Cursed Woods, going for probably the locked chest, the one you can open with the hero medal.
It is
It's
jerky.
jerky!
Ooh, interesting. So it's a key item in a key item location, but unfortunately, the jerky does not yield a key item, just a really good item.
Yes, typically the jerky, you drop it off in 8600, you then go to 1080 where the mayor is no longer greedy, and he'll give you something really nice like a rainbow, a wonder shot, a Taban suit, a prism dress, prism helm. There's a list of items, but they're all top tier.
I think I've gotten a prison specs out of this, so I like turning in the jerky.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's a little bit disappointing to get sometimes, but the item is usually worth it. Chadleywick in chat, it is very difficult in this category to tell who is in the lead until they start uncovering more items, and then we might have a better idea of who's going to finish first. That said, Procky seems to be going through checks the quickest.
That is a very well done evaluation there, Lord Batsy. Like that's wow.
Thank you.
I was like, wow, that's the most perfect answer I could ever think of.
But yeah, being a randomizer, there's always going to be some component of luck, and sometimes that's just guessing which thing to check before checking the other thing.
Yep, exactly. Rando's gonna rando.
Yep.
And as we say that, Procky just found the bent hilt in is this Giant's Claw or
It's
Red Eye?
Giant's Claw, yeah.
Okay. And to get here, this is the one you have to pour Thomas Pop, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Picking up the rock in that chest. Black rock.
I can never remember if it's black or blue. I mean, I know
Blue
both
is
of them are good.
Omega Flare. Blue is the like really notorious one. Dark Eternal on the Black Rock is pretty good, but I think Omega Flare is the one that everyone
Okay.
yearns for.
And that's the Blue Rock, and that's Robo, Magus, and Luca,
And
correct?
Luca, yeah. Power tab.
Yeah, Chadleywick, it is 5 items, but like Lord Batsy was explaining, since this is rando, what matters a little bit more than the amount of items is which items you have. There are multiple ways of getting go mode in this. So one way is getting the bent hilt and the bent sword and frog, and that will allow you to open up Magus's castle for go mode. Another way is getting the Dreamstone and the Ruby Knife, allowing you to go through Tyranno Lair. You don't need any specific character for that one. And then the final way is getting the Clone and the Chrono Trigger, and that'll open the Black Omen or Mount Woe. No, not Mount Woe. What's that mountain
Um,
called?
you take the gate key back to prehistory, go through the Tyranno lair, and then go through the Ocean Palace to defeat Lavos.
Oh, okay. You need the
Yeah.
gate key as well.
Yes, and
Whoops.
for the Black Omen route, you need the pendant, but only
Right.
because that takes you to the future. And the Black Omen is unlocked through finishing Death Peak. Oh, and looks like the jerky is a haste helm.
That's
That is
awesome.
lovely.
Yeah, I love the Haste Helm. One of my favorites.
I don't think anybody's complaining when they find one of those ever. Just ever.
You get a haste helmet and a gold stud for Luca, and it's just
Oh
flare, flare,
yeah,
flare.
just all right, and Azure is gonna do the trial quest to get the future unlocked. Mr. Scruff may be about to do so as well, but he's been going through Guardia Castle and collecting chests too.
Looks like. So, just as a reminder, what AzureCale and MrScruffNinjaTuna are doing here, they will not find any key items in this prison sequence at all. They will all be some kind of. But this will unlock the future for them, where there are lots and lots and lots of chests available. So, very
It
much an opens up the world play.
Yes, indeed. And the reason there aren't any key items here or in the Sunken Desert, for example, is that any area that's only available temporarily doesn't contain any key items because then you could lock yourself out of being able to finish the seed, and nobody likes that.
I didn't even realize that this was only available temporarily. Oh, right,
Uh,
because once you do it, you can never come back.
yeah, they blow up the bridge with the dragon tank.
Gotcha. Okay, okay.
Shitsus and Giggles in chat asking about the Lavos bucket. So, if you are in the Ocean Palace and you are fighting the outer Lavos, the shell, and you lose to the shell, you may then go and use the bucket after watching all of those cutscenes with Lavos destroying Zeal and such. So it is doable. It's not necessarily recommended unless you just really need to escape the Ocean Palace and go shopping or something like that. Otherwise, I would recommend just resetting and fighting Lavos again.
But yeah, that those last scenes there with Lava's destroying everything take a while.
Yes.
Excuse me.
All right. We're gonna save Fritz. I think we're gonna save Fritz. We've got Chrono. May as well save Fritz. If you've got Chrono in your party, you can go to Fritz's shop after he's been rescued from the prison and get those 10 free mid-ethers. And those can be pretty valuable, honestly.
Yeah, and I don't think they found any mid ethers for sale anywhere, right? So
I don't know that I've seen any yet. They, of course, because we're on the free shops flag, they would be really cheap, but you don't always find them.
right, right.
Fritz's shop is also guaranteed to have lapises. It's one of 2 shops guaranteed to have them. The one at Fiona's Shrine is the other.
Well, looks like they're all in that pendant sequence now. Here we go.
Yep. Oh.
And, you know, I think they've pretty much explored everything that was available to them. At least Procky did. He also did Giant's Claw.
Yes.
But, you know, things that are, you know, pendant locked have to, the sequence has to be done first in order for the pendant to be active.
Yes, that is true. Looking back at chat, there's a question. Lavos 1 isn't buffed like in vanilla. It is the buffed version of Lavos 1, the stronger version that would normally appear at the Ocean Palace. The game has been adjusted so that your characters can handle him, but it is the buffed version. Now, the good news is what that means is you don't have to fight your way through what I like to call the Lavos Gauntlet. You know, he'll pretend to be many of the bosses that you've fought throughout the game. You don't have to do that.
Oh, that's right, in the vanilla game.
Mm-hmm. And I guess the other good thing is because that version of Outer Lavos is kind of just designed to kill you. His AI script is not complicated. The same thing just loops over and over. So if you know what's coming, it's not too bad.
Oh, I did not realize that. I thought it was random.
Oh yeah, it's destruction range from the heavens, and then obstacle, and then the energy release, and then it just loops.
Okay, good to know. Is it the same looping thing for the final Lavos?
Final
Like-
Lavos is a little more complex.
Okay.
He has different scripts he can jump into.
Ah, okay.
Right. Got Azure and MrScruff on Dragon Tank, and Procky is just about to Dragon Tank.
Rocky is making some time there.
Absolutely, because the other two haven't been to Giant's Claw, I don't think.
I think
Or
you're right. Yeah,
yeah.
they would have that broken blade or the bent hilt. The bent hilt.
Yes, it was the hilt. Yes. Chadleywick, if that it actually is an option, if you are first defeated by Outer Lavos in the Ocean Palace, you can grab the Epoch and fly it into Lavos to skip that battle afterwards. Yes. It is, of course, another cutscene you have to sit through, which is why I think people prefer not to.
Yeah. Yeah, the old hard reset tends to be a little faster than those cutscenes.
Yep. All right. Off to the future for AzureCale.
All right, down goes the Dragon Tank for MrScruffNinjaTuna
Yes.
and for Rocky.
And for Brocky.
Wow.
Dark Helm, Gold Earring, not too bad for drops off of that thing.
Yeah. Yeah, anything that absorbs shadow tends to be a pretty good... Shadow and fire tend to be the most commonly sought after. But there are cases for the water and lightning absorptions.
Absolutely. Especially since in Jets of Time, the elements coming from the Magus fight and the Black Tyranno fight can get randomized. So we've made sure everything can be useful. And yes, mid-ethers and Trandome. I would just buy 99 of them immediately.
Yeah.
Like, in typical jets, they cost 3,000 apiece. So if they cost one, I would just completely fill up.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. And so what you're seeing these characters do, or these players do, is go through the pendants, the pendant locked chest here. These doors are locked by that pendant. In this mode, the pendant is charged as soon as you get to the future.
Yes.
So you can go through those. You can now open all of those little chests that are normally locked by the pendant.
Yep. AzureCale is heading into Lab 16, which in typical Jets runs you would just never see. There's pretty much no reason to come in here.
Yeah, and I
The
think
tre-
that fight is skippable, but since nobody ever does it, it's hard to remember how to do these skips. I mean, I don't know how to do any of them, but
Yeah, I know a couple of them, but I certainly don't know all of them off the top of my head.
stole 500 G. Is that what happens in free shops? Or is it
No,
just?
that's what the rats do if you don't have any tonics.
Oh, okay, okay.
They
Wow,
normally steal your items, and then if you don't have items, they steal your money.
gotcha.
Coming in the other end. Get that last chest.
Rocky having a little struggle there trying to land the airship or the epic.
Yep. And no, I'm sure none of these players have tonics or potions as they would be known as in the newer translation. Generally, if you're shopping for consumable healing items, you're just going to start with the mid tonics.
Oh, SpeedGaming 3. So thank you so much for the raid. Welcome and welcome
Oh, yes.
Raiders 48.
Thank
Wow.
you. Welcome.
We are currently watching AzureCale, Proccy, and MrScruffNinjaTuna race in a very fun and wanky mode of Chrono Trigger Jets of Time with Chrono Sanity, Tab Sanity, Hard Mode, and Free Shops as the flags. I think I said wanky, I meant wonky.
That makes a little more sense, yes.
Yeah. English is my second language, okay?
Alright. AzureCale fighting Son of Sun. Let's see. Crocky in Lab 16. Mr. Scruff heading over to Arisdome. Okay. Mian, thank you for spotting that
Yeah.
dreamstone in the sewers, because
I did not see that at all.
my eyes are bouncing from screen to screen, but it is very quick, these item pickups.
So if you're wondering about Son of Sun, it's kind of a weird fight. It's not your typical just beat up the boss. It's the little fireballs around the eyeball will shuffle around, and randomly one of those will give vulnerability sort of to the eyeball. So as you can see right now, the second one is damaging the eyeball. You do this 10 times and you beat the boss. If you're not quite fast enough, it'll shuffle again, so you have to figure it out again.
Yes, we've made it slightly less painful in Jets by removing one of the solar flares. There's usually 5 of them.
Oh, that's right. In vanilla, there are 5. Wow.
Woohoo.
These things. But one thing is, in any mode that you play Son of Sun, unless you're just really strong already, you want to bring some fire protection, ruby vests or red vests and red mails to absorb or cut the damage from the fire. It only attacks with, well, not only, but mostly attacks with fire, to include a big giant flare.
Indeed. Alright, Procky's got the Dreamstone as well.
And that's a nice little speed tab in there as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, Lord Batsy, remind me, what is this boss's name?
On Procky's screen?
On Proccy, yeah.
That's Sir Crawley.
Sir Crawley. Never see this in standard. Pretty much only see this in Chrono Sanity, I would imagine.
Pretty much, yeah. Anything that would make you need to open those chests.
But I remember that this is one of the bosses that like really sticks out to me in my memory from being a kid playing this game. I just remember that boss.
Yeah. The one I remember is Son of Sun because it took me a long time to puzzle that guy out.
Thank you, Yorvos Morgan Breeze, if I said your name correctly. dark beam from the sun. Gotcha.
Okay.
So would you go here AzureCale is for this other character, or would you just go through with the main party?
I personally would just keep who I've got, but I mean, if you're not comfortable with the characters you have, then Protodome is a quick pickup.
And,
Oh,
putting Marley here.
Robo's ribbon. MrScruffNinjaTuna got the Robo's ribbon from the chest in the food storage there.
Ooh. And we saw that Robo was behind the Masamune, or the Masamune, so...
Yes.
If he manages to find that broken hilt and the broken blade, he could add Robo to the party and stick that Robo ribbon on him. And the Robo ribbon, if you're curious, it's similar to the hero medal in that it does several things for Robo. It does barrier, I believe, which cuts damage by a third, or magic damage by a third. It gives sunshades damage, which is plus 25%, and it gives Robo +3 speed.
Yes.
And also a side scope effect. So very nice item for Robo.
The red plates are called the red mail in the SNES version. Chat. We tend to use the SNES translation for referring to stuff in jets, I think just because this is the version it's built on, but that said, I'm at least fairly familiar with the DS/Steam version, so if anyone has any questions about what's what, I can probably tell you.
Yeah, I remember when I played, I can't remember which, but like the Masamune was the same name, but it was stronger, and I was really confused. And then when I heard about the Grand Leon, that was the first time I've ever heard of it being called the Grand Leon. So I was like, what's this, and why is it so strong?
Yes, that was just... the Grand Leon was changed in jets. The Grand Leon is the stronger version of the Masamune. That's the Japanese name of the sword, but we use it to differentiate.
Gotcha.
So... Okay, and AzureCale is going through that factory, and especially this side of the factory that you rarely see because you can input the password on the other side, even if you haven't gone over. Basically, if you have the meta knowledge of the password, you don't need to come find it. So most players just skip this part, even in vanilla.
Yeah, it's definitely adds a lot of time to your timer going through this whole sequence here.
Mm-hmm.
But there are chests over here, so they could have progression.
Indeed.
And I want to say a quick thank you to Takenu in chat for explaining the different Go mode possibilities. I think I didn't explain them quite the best earlier, so thank you so much for putting that in chat. It looks like Procky's doing the Guardian fight as well.
Yep. So Procky's that ribbon.
Yeah. Trying to see if Azure gets anything interesting over here on this side of the factory, because that would be quite a big play.
It would.
There it is. Procky got the Robo Ribbon. And currently, he's the only one with the broken hilt, so...
Yes, that is true. That was in Giant's Claw, I believe.
Yep. Did MrScruffNinjaTuna get the Dreamstone?
Since he's in the sewers, I'm going to say probably. I was looking to see if Azure had found any more chests at the time. Azure doing the irritatingly time-consuming crane sequence on this side of the factory.
Dedication over here
Mm-hmm.
for this final chest. Ah,
Power tap.
well, but you know, it's one of those things where it's also comfort. You know, you never have to worry about maybe there was something there the whole time and I should have checked it.
Yep. Okay. Mr. Scruff's gonna pick up the Protodome character, which is Marl.
It's interesting. So AzureCale did pick up Marl, but because Marl is also one of those characters that could unlock
Yes.
progression. That's right.
Yes. Marl and Robo and Frog. Although not Robo under this flag set, because Robo's only needed for the desert.
Oh, actually, I think so. The desert itself cannot give you any progression items, but the key item that you get could still be a key item.
Okay, so there is a very, very, very slim chance.
Yeah.
But we're gonna go with 999 times out of 1,000, and possibly even more generous than that. You can probably not worry about finishing the desert under this flag set.
Right. I think this might be, if there's any LTTPR fans in chat, that might be equivalent to a pet check. If you're familiar with that. Or something being on pet.
Oh, I only play that randomizer casually, so I don't know the lingo. I really enjoy it. I just don't like race people. I just
yeah. Yeah. The pet is the pedestal, short for pedestal. So
because you want to be doing crystal dungeons, not
yeah.
Okay.
Ideally. Yeah.
All right. Everyone's favorite battle in the factory, Azure is on. I don't know if Chrono has any lightning elemental damage, but Lightning 2 or Luminaire is usually your best bet for getting through these guys. Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I've always just auto-attacked them.
Flare could cause some trouble. I forget which ones of them counterattack which ways, because I try not to let them do it. Okay. Flare's okay on the orange guys. Right, Procky over to Hecarim Cave, which we sadly know contains nothing.
Okay, all right. So I was curious because, you know, Procky has made really good time. But he hasn't actually... What? Did we miss? What did we miss?
Oh, sorry. AzureCale just picked up the clone from that chest in front of the computer.
Oh, okay. That is pendant plus clone. So a Chrono trigger would give AzureCale go mode, right?
Indeed.
Okay.
It would. So AzureCale is one item away. And yes, Yervo said chat, it's true, Procky doesn't know that Hecarim is empty, but yeah. I always feel badly for the runners when I know that the area they went into isn't going to help them.
Yeah. And, you know, Procky is also just one item away, right? Just the bent sword.
Indeed, he is, yes.
He has Frog, so...
Someone call his cell phone.
But yeah, Falcon hit. I was just making a reference because it just seemed like Procky, which, don't get me wrong, he is making incredible time and going through this so fast. But I was like, wow, it's just, how did he get so far ahead? But I forgot that he hadn't actually done Iron Cake yet, so...
Moon Blizzard in chat is correcting me that there are actually a lot higher chances of finding key items in some of those checks, including Desert and Zedenbridge and
Oh,
Snail Stop, so I appreciate that. Thank you.
oh, I had no idea that it
Ooh,
was that high.
I see that the R-Series robots dropped a prism dress. That's really nice.
Oh, wow, really?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Prism dress is, of course, the best armor item in the game. Can only be worn by ladies, but we've got Luca and Marl and Ayla all available, so
And it's the strongest defensive item. In addition, it gives you is it barrier or shield?
it's auto barrier, and it might also have um an extra boost to magic defense. The way armor works is a little funny, and a lot of the times, like, defense is the stat that it gives you, and then magic defense is like a bonus.
Okay,
So
I
it
thought
might
that was the
have a
prism
bonus.
helm.
Well, Prism Helms don't have auto barrier, but they do have, yeah, they do have a magic defense boost. So I
Right,
couldn't
yeah.
remember if the dress had one too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Prism Helms also have status protection, which is great.
Okay, so I forgot. So magic is required to be unlocked in this mode. I forgot.
Yes.
Aha.
At
I
least we're playing less of a mode and more of a try these flags together. So,
yeah.
but, but that said, yes, magic was not unlocked.
Okay. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of modes lately that the magic flag is on, so you don't normally have to
Mhm.
come to Specchio to unlock magic. So it's nice to see AzureCale doing this.
Yes. But characters will learn up to 3 techs instead of 2 like vanilla. Jets will give you 3 before they visit Specchio, unless they were one of the characters that never had to learn magic, which is Robo and Ayla and Magus. But the other 4 need to meet Specchio before they start learning more of their spells. The nice thing is, too, if you bring someone to Specchio and they don't know all 3 of their starting techs, he will teach them to that character immediately.
Yeah, that could be really nice if you get an early gate key, go straight to the end of time and learn magic, get your first 3 techs, and save you some time grinding.
Yeah, indeed.
And with our knowledge of Robo being in the burrow, we know that Magus is also in the Dactyl Nest. So unless the players really want Magus, I don't think we'll be seeing any Dactyl Nest. Oh wait,
Mhm.
there are chests in there. Ah, never mind.
There are chests in the Dactyl Nest, so assuming the gate key pops up, we probably will see it. I see Procky going around checking a bunch of sealed chests.
Oh, is
Because
that
those
go
can...
mode? Oh no, no gatekeep. He just found the ruby knife. I don't know if you saw that.
I did not, but...
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, so we don't know where the gate key is.
Oh gosh. So Procky is like a bent sword from one type of go mode and a gatekeep from the other type of go mode.
Yes. And, see where he's heading next. Okay, AzureCale fighting Guardian, so he'll be getting the ribbon soon.
As you can see, fire damage doesn't hurt the guardian itself, but it takes out those bits just fine.
Okay. Yervos in chat, for Jets of Time, the whole open the chest in 600, power it up, open it in 1000 thing has been removed just to make it a lot simpler. So you can open a chest in 600 or in 1000, and they're just separate chests.
Yeah, what's it's really cool about this mode, or like you said, it's not exactly a mode, but with these flag combinations, like Chrono Sanity, um, we could theoretically see different go modes for all three runners.
We could. Oh, there's the chrono trigger. Procky
Oh,
just got the chrono trigger. It was
oh my,
in that's the in 600
okay,
AD in Truce. Okay.
okay.
That that is an out of the way spot for sure, but good on Procky for grabbing those sealed chests.
Yeah, so Procky is now one item away from three possible go modes, and we have knowledge of the Chrono Trigger clone go mode. So
Yes. Okay.
so if AzureCale goes to the factory, no, the AzureCale goes to the 600 AD
Yeah.
in, or if Procky goes to the factory.
Then either of them would have go mode, yes. Tab, speed tab. Rocky heading over to the northern ruins, maybe? Maybe not?
Just landed and left.
Yep. Ah, the forest ruins.
And for this one, in normal standard, you can check one chest, save and quit, and check the other one. But in Chrono Sanity, you only need to check one, right?
I imagine that because the chests are mutually exclusive, they wouldn't put a key item in these chests.
See MrScruffNinjaTuna throwing some magic tabs on Chrono. Exciting.
Yeah, not a bad idea. Chrono's kind of one of those characters who's like got decent stats all around, so the magic boost isn't bad. Luminaire just
Yeah.
needs a little help, and then
Yep.
it's pretty good.
Yeah. And also
Ooh,
grabbing his
it's
clone
his
there.
clone.
Is this Procky going to the
Ladies
factory?
here? Looks like Rocky's in factory, so he got the skip.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that. That's cool. And if I remember correctly, it was on the left side, right?
Yeah, it was on the other side. Alright, Mr. Scruff is coming out of the factory to that R-Series fight. AzureCale, probably starting to go after sealed treasure chests. So, I'm guessing Azure's gonna have that chrono trigger, fairly soon here, depending on his routing.
That's a very good point. Yeah, going through all these pendant seal chests, it's between AzureCale and Procky who gets to theirs first, and
Mhm.
MrScruffNinjaTuna might be right behind as well.
Yeah, we just have to see what he's gonna do.
Yeah.
Pop into Protodome.
Oh, probably gonna go activate his magic first.
Yes, that is wise.
So if everybody in chat is curious if who's ahead and whatnot, it looks like we got ourselves a race. This is still anybody's game. Um, we'll
Yeah.
see what Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna decides to go do. But for AzureCale and Procky, it's just
Yep, those two are at least pretty close together.
MrScruffNinjaTuna deciding to give the magic to Frog.
Not necessarily a bad call, depending on what you're hoping to do. Frog does get heal after all.
So my question is, if let's say you get go mode and you're going, through like Black Omen or Ocean Palace or something, do you still check the chests? Like if let's say you've got plenty of tabs, you're fine, you don't need any more. But do you still check them for the like chance of getting like a Grand Leon or a Robo Ribbon or something like that?
Oh gosh, I think only if I were using Frog or Robo and I didn't already have the item. In
Right.
that very specific case,
Right.
I wouldn't. But
Yeah, that's pretty standard.
most of the time, I probably wouldn't.
Okay. And oh wait, that's not the one I was thinking.
Yes, Azure did grab the ruby knife. Yeah.
Okay, so MrScruffNinjaTuna decided to go into Geno Dome. Just to remind everyone, though, even though he is not necessarily getting the same go mode as AzureCale or Proccy, he could find another type of go mode in Geno
Absolutely.
Dome.
There's Azure's Chrono Trigger.
All right, so Azure is the first one in go mode officially.
Go mode.
Thank you for taking that time down, Yorgos, 1:12:40.
And Proccy will have that Chrono Trigger very soon. Or clone, which is, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they're both pieces of the same go mode.
Ha! I like it. Azure
Naming it
his... Yeah,
Tupac.
That's good. So as we were explaining earlier, oh, and there's the clone for Proccy. So there is go mode for Proccy on 1350.
Yep.
1346. Thank you. Now, do you think he'll go ahead and finish this off and activate magic?
I was thinking, yeah.
Okay.
Especially since he's already downstairs.
Yeah. And he's using Chrono and Luca, so.
And I don't know that Luca has... She has Flare, which is great for the Black Omen. It will clear most of the encounters in the Black Omen. But I don't know if she has Fire too, which is pretty key for doing dual techs with both Ayla and Chrono.
Yeah. I don't think she does either, so I think that's why he's continuing through this here.
Alright, Mr. Scruff is through that conveyor belt in Geno Dome, so now the true exploration in there can begin.
I like all the power tabs used.
All the tabs. Yep.
Maxed out power for both Ayla and Chrono.
Very nice.
Is he not using any of the magic tabs?
Maybe not yet, but he might be doing a bunch of menuing and then figuring out where everyone stands.
So this is one aspect I wanted to mention as well when you talked about menuing. And it's something that me as a little bit newer runner, I struggle with a lot. Every new item I get, I want to immediately go to the menu and equip it. Change things around. It's nice to see, like what AzureCale just did. He saved up all his menuing for this one nice giant time. So you save a lot of time that way.
Absolutely. I think it just takes some practice, but as you learn the routing and for different dungeons and stuff like that, you definitely get an idea of when you're going to, need to be battling, or when you're going to hit a save point and might open the menu to save your game anyway. And you start things like that and remembering, like, okay, well, I can just save my equip until I get to here, and then I'll do it, and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, each time I play through, I learn a little bit more, so it's really fun.
Yep.
Okay, so AzureCale is checking a few more checks.
Yeah, I suppose may as well, as he goes through Depth Peak.
And one thing for him is he's not using Frog either, so he can't get, anything really. And power tabs are maxed out, so it's really just magic tabs other speed tabs.
Speed,
right?
Yeah. Speed would be the big one, but...
Okay, that's probably what he's checking for.
Yeah. Doing very well. He's got, in my opinion, of the... Every encounter on Death Peak, except for the bosses, is skippable, and I think that the early encounters are the harder ones to skip, so he just nailed those early skips.
Yeah, wow.
So he's just gonna probably blow through the rest of this. And then, of course, these crackers, the ones descending down the hill there, are a good grinding spot. Second to that one in the Ocean Palace, if you need to grind for tech points or anything.
Yeah, and I was just noticing he's level 18, which normally would be a little bit low, right? But in this mode with all the tabs...
Your mic went out. Could you repeat that?
Oh, sorry. I'm noticing he's level 18 with his characters, which would normally be a little bit on the low side, I think, for going into Ocean Palace.
Yeah, maybe a little.
Okay, but for this mode, or I keep saying this mode, but for this with all the tabs, and he actually got some really good equipment, the prism dress and the haste helm and things like that. So. The only thing I didn't see is if he got a good weapon for Chrono.
I think he has a dark saber, so he has an okay weapon for Chrono, like a decent. That's like medium, I guess.
Okay.
Oh, an Aeon Blade. Looking at chat, Aeon Blade is better, I think. So that's like, Aeon Blade, good but not great, probably. I don't know what actual tier it's in. We have everything. We actually have all the items and equipment defined in tiers and Jets of Time, because the randomizer uses that to determine what chests get which items. They're more or less scaled to how hard it is to get to them. In Tab Sanity, everything's just a tab, but...
Yeah. But, I mean, his Confuse was doing 1,600 damage altogether, so that's comparable to a very strong Chrono. So. And I don't know if you saw this or not, but that lava shell did drop both an elixir and a mega elixir.
Yeah, I saw that. Very handy. Especially with the Queen Zeal fight coming up. Just one mega elixir really turns that thing around. All right.
Was that... Did that flare just do 3,500 damage to those lasers?
I think it might have. That's what a lot of magic tabs will do, and I don't know if he's got the sunshades, but she might be wearing them. Luca might be wearing them if he did.
That's a very powerful flare. Now it looks like MrScruffNinjaTuna is doing Genodome the way it's supposed to be done, flipping the switch, changing the direction of the conveyor belt. There is a skip you can do here, but it's one of the harder skips.
It's very tight, yeah. 6 or 7 frames, something like that. That said, we've got tutorial videos, and a lot of people have expressed that it wasn't as hard to learn as they thought.
Oh no, you forgot to unlock the door.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, I've definitely done that. Definitely been there. I feel for you, man. I feel for you. All right, so it is AzureCale that is making it into the Black Omen first.
Yep.
Proccy is just behind him at Death Peak, and if we find some nice items here, some progression items for MrScruffNinjaTuna, we could be seeing a different go mode.
Yep. Been trying to keep an eye on the treasure in Genodome. I don't think I've seen anything special yet.
Yeah, so far just tabs.
Yep. AzureCale grabbing those free mid-ethers from Fritz.
I guess he never found the purchasable ones in the future.
Oh, yeah. That
He
or
just
he's
didn't.
forgotten about them.
Yeah, that could be it too.
Because that definitely happens.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he does have 99. So. Oh, I think he was here for the lapises, maybe.
That's fair, yeah. Because this shop will always have them, and since you have to do desert to get the other one that will definitely have lapises, stopping by Fritz's shop is a good idea. Alright, and AzureCale has boarded the Black Omen at 121.54-ish.
Yep, this is it. This is the final dungeon. So.
Yep.
And this, again, we discussed how this could, this could have a very large variance in time. But to me, this is looking like it's going pretty fast.
Yeah, this isn't too bad.
Lots of dungeons out there that have not even been looked into at all. But they were able to find a go mode before that. So no Northern Ruins, no Aussie Fort, none of those really obscure things that you might not normally see. Maybe besides the factory, I think that was one of them.
Yeah.
Stranger things.
We saw the factory. We saw a couple people do Lab 16.
That's right. Yeah, Lab 16 was another one.
Atropos XR is removed from Jets typically, although she is in the shuffle for Boss Rando. And yes, I see MrScruffNinjaTuna has just found the gate key.
Oh. And that ruby knife was in 600 AD. It was a pendant lock chest.
It was one of the sealed chests, yeah.
Yeah.
So if he goes for that, then he's in a good position because generally speaking, the Ocean Palace Go mode takes less time. It is more dangerous than the Black Omen, so that's the trade-off, but generally it's faster.
It does kind of feel bad a little bit to go through the factory to unlock magic, but then get the gate key right after.
Yeah, it does. But I suppose since at least there was, the factory had the clone, or the trigger, one of them.
Yeah.
At least it was worth it.
Yeah.
Rocky gonna face off against the Lavos spawn. And Mr. Scruff gonna face off against Mother Brain.
Seeing Luca with a haste helm and a prism dress, I'm just like, yes, I want one. Just missing a gold stud or prism specs.
Exactly. I'll even take a magic seal.
Yeah, magic seals are really good.
Yeah.
I think, I stuck a magic seal on my frog once and it made such a difference in the fight.
Alright, and Procky is through that lava spawn. Here comes a Luminaire. Now, it's true that this Luminaire will kill the displays, which usually makes Mother Brain go berserk, but her HP is pretty low, so this flare will probably do her in before she can do anything really nasty to his party. Or anything at all.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Yep.
2,500 damage with that flare.
Mm-hmm.
Just a barrier there, though.
Yep. Okay. Scruff going to 1000 AD, but I'm hoping it's to open that chest to get him the ruby knife.
This looks like a Thomas pop.
Looks like he might be pouring out Thomas pop.
Well, if he goes to the Giant's Claw, he'll get that bent hilt. So then he'll be one item from 3 different possible go modes as well.
He will. Nice mutant skip there by AzureCale.
To answer chat, we have not seen any of our 3 runners find the broken blade, so we do not know where it is.
Yes. Hey. Mr. Scruff does look like he's starting to go for sealed chests, though, so that could be a good sign.
Yeah, it's nice to see that happening. But now it's like, what will he get first? Will he get the Chrono Trigger or will he get the ruby knife?
Going for prehistory now, looks like.
Okay.
I'm like, no, keep getting the sealed chests.
Yeah, man, the sealed chest, there were 2 key items in there, right? The ruby knife and the Chrono Trigger?
Yeah, 2 in sealed chests so far. That's possibly all of them. I don't.
It could be, yeah, it could be. So I'm not familiar with pretty much any of the skips in the Black Omen. So have you noticed at all? Has Proccy managed to skip any that AzureCale hasn't? Or...
Proccy just came in and has done, I think, like the 1 skip so far.
Okay.
But I think they're both basically getting skips right now.
They both are familiar with pretty much all the skips here.
I would think so, yeah. Keep an eye on it. But yeah, you have to fight those goons and those incognitos at the beginning. It's a nice orb skip that AzureCale just did. I don't think I knew you could go diagonally.
Yeah, you can skip them.
Yeah. Just don't walk straight forward. That will trigger it, but...
Ooh, is this skippable here? Uh-oh. Oh.
It is.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
I know there are fights in that room because I've gotten into them.
Yeah. He does it completely differently from how I do it, which is kind of what's fun about Chrono Trigger. Some of the skips are just, I don't know, the battles trigger in weird spaces, so people find their own weird places to go around them. And yeah, we've got MrScruffNinjaTuna checking out the forest maze, which we don't see a lot.
Do you see this nutty shop?
Yes, I do.
Elixirs for 1.
Oh, that is a broken new shop.
Oh my gosh.
Just buy 99 of them.
Yeah.
And yeah, amulets are guaranteed in the new shot on the Omen and the one in Zeal.
Now, are amulets really important for this type of go mode?
Less so, but you still have to get your way through Giga Mutant and Terra Mutant, so they can be.
Yeah, those guys throw some nasty stats at you.
Yeah.
But then after them, you can switch them out for something more fun.
Yeah, Queen Zeal and the Mammoth Machine don't really do status stuff.
Now, an interesting note here, I think AzureCale's just skipping straight through the boss, but we see Proccy fighting the eyeball, the boss orbs and the sidekicks.
Yeah, Azure ran and skipped them. Some of the eyeball skips are hard because I think when they open their eyes, it's pretty random.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, they drop a lot of experience and tech. So I wonder if he's farming these for Fire 2 with Luca?
Possibly, yeah. 100 tech points, after
There's a
all.
lot. There's Luminaire, and there's Napalms.
Yeah. I would be looking out for Fire 2 for sure. For those either Blaze Kicks or Fire Sword 2s on the final boss.
Absolutely. That can really not only make the fight a little easier, but speed it up considerably.
Mm-hmm. Ruminator fight. Fine to run away from.
Unfortunately, MrScruffNinjaTuna striking out there, going through that forest maze. I don't think there was anything important in there. Heading into
Reptile Lair.
Oh, there it is. Fire 2. Blaze Kick, Fire Sword, Gatling Kick. He's got
Beautiful.
it. Wow.
And now he knows he's good to go, probably.
Okay, looks like AzureCale is also farming a few of these orbs as well, so maybe not this one.
Maybe not this one. These boss orbs and minions, they're sort of like the rebel fights and the rock fights that a lot of people are familiar with, except the boss orbs will actually attack you, and if you don't kill them quickly, they'll pretty much just kill you with fire. They can get really dangerous.
Oh, it's so nice to see Ayla with that damage cranking out, that maxed out power, critting everywhere. And thank you, Mian, or Tracker, for
what was that? Oh, that was a moonstone from the chest and Reptile Lair, actually.
Oof.
Ooh.
That's rough.
Everybody's least favorite key item.
Yeah.
Like, at least the jerky gives you a prize.
Right? And for those who might not know, the Moonstone does give you, I think it's a helmet from Taban.
Yes.
But you have to charge it first. And then the only way to actually get a key item from it is if you also have the Prism Shard and do the Prism Shard quest.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So like our tracker Mian in chat is saying, it's extra useless since we don't have that Prism Shard.
Yes, there is a tab in the 680 Sunkeep. It's a power tab. Mr. Scruff heading into Dactyl Nest. It's worth noting that while it looks like you can walk by that first fight, you can't. Just get it over with. You can't avoid it.
I think the first like 5 times I ran through a Chrono Trigger randomizer, Jets of Time, I tried to go by that fight, and until I finally learned it's not skippable.
Giga Mutant up here for AzureCale.
Okay, here we go.
That flare going.
Now, entering the Black Omen, Proccy was about, what, 5 minutes behind-ish?
That sounds about right.
I didn't time it exactly, so I'm not too sure about that.
I looked, but I have since forgotten.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned the time that AzureCale was walking into the Black Omen, but...
Mr. Scruff, going for that next skip. You actually can get behind that rock to the ladder, but it's very, very precise. The Dactyl Nest skips are definitely nominees, at least for the hardest skips in the game. There's a little bit of disagreement on which skips are the absolute worst. Is he gonna go ahead and run down? After getting the last chest? Interesting.
I mean, he knows that the character is Magus up at the top, right?
He does, probably, but I'm wondering if it would just be faster to get the character, because then it'll warp you right out of Dactyl Nest.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have to... Yeah.
So I'm curious. Oh, is that what it was? Looks like Procky just learned life with Chrono as well as
Ew.
Falcon. So
The
I
Falcon
wonder
hit, yeah.
was what he was farming for, because he was still fighting those orbs, and as far as I know, you can run away from them if you don't skip them.
You can, yeah. So, yeah, he definitely wanted the TP.
Okay.
Looks like Giga Mutant was absolutely no issue for AzureCale.
Yeah, took him down swiftly. And Procky about to find this new shop is incredibly broken.
Yep. 136.
If you're just joining now, you can see here that they are selling Mega Elixirs for free.
Yep.
There it is.
Yep. MrScruff's gonna do Giant's Claw, where he will find one piece of the sword. AzureCale on that second elevator. One fight so far, I think.
Luca's magic is maxed out on his side.
Yep.
Still got 17 leftover power tabs with both Ayla and Chrono maxed out on the so
If it weren't a speedrun, you could just give them to Luca for, like, the lulz, I guess.
Yeah, just for giggles. Oh, a bent hilt on MrScruffNinjaTuna side. Oh wait, that's the one we saw earlier.
Yes, the bent hilt from
I
Giant's
thought
Claw.
it was the bent sword.
Ah, if only. A Gatling kick on the Tubster, which unfortunately it soaks. I think it's lightning elemental.
Curious to see this fire whirl damage here on Azure side.
Mm-hmm.
And on
3-3-4-4. That's pretty good for Fire Whirl.
Yeah. And 4,000 on Procky side.
Mm.
4,000 damage AoE. I'll take it.
Yep. Doom fight here. Okay, so AzureCale entered the second elevator at about 136.
Okay.
So we can watch for that on Procky's side.
Okay, good call. Thank you.
See Mr. Scruff taking that fight in Giant's Claw. You can avoid it if you go behind that torch to the left.
Yeah, I actually just intuitively always went around that torch and never got into that fight. But then the very last time I tried playing, I just ran straight ahead and was like, yeah, I never fight this thing, so it must not do anything.
Right. Yeah, every once in a while. Right. Panel fight. Procky doing a nice eyeball skip there.
Yeah, after fighting so many orbs before, it's nice to see he knows the skips. He was very intentionally farming those attacks.
Mm-hmm. And yes, if anyone's not used to using Fire Whirl, aka Inferno, but aka the good Fire Whirl, the one with Ayla, give it a shot. It's quite good full screen damage.
And that's something that is that full screen damage in vanilla as well?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Oh, so close. Almost got that skip. I know that in vanilla, Tailspin was AoE damage. Or like
it's yeah, it's I don't know what to call it. I think I don't remember how many targets it is, but it's like based around Ayla, whereas in Jet it just hits anywhere.
Yeah.
Kale going into Terra Mutant now. With all of that magical power, I can't imagine this is going to take very long.
And for Terra Mutant, you just need to kill the top section, and then the bottom section will just appear.
Yes.
And thank you, chat, Yurvos, for pointing it out. Yeah, it's like Robo's proximity bomb. It's an area around the character.
Yes.
That's what Tailspin is in vanilla for Ayla. But in this, in Jets of Time, Tailspin can hit any one target.
Yes.
No matter where they are.
And it does not take defense.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it pierces defense. I was gonna say, that ought to do it. Yep. That'll take out Terra Mutant.
255 tech points from that Terra Mutant. That's
a proximity bomb is the same in Jets of Time. We have had many conversations about, you know, where to position Robo in various fights so that you can take advantage of that or double V-bomb. For what it's worth, when I was a kid, I bought the, like, player's guide at some point. I wanted it for the pictures. And I remember that it just said double bomb instead of double V-bomb, so I've always figured that was just a typo or something.
I mean, yeah, it's like, what's the V there for?
Yeah. Right? Rocky's Giga Mutant fight. As AzureCale goes into lava spawn. Sorry.
Oh, no. More important, what you're saying is definitely more important. I was going to talk about how the double V makes me think of a W. It's like, right. So what's a W bomb? Like,
it's just a double bomb. Okay, MrScruffNinjaTuna is heading into Ozzy's fort.
Interesting. I like this play, for sure. It's just unfortunate that... I mean, the broken sword could still... Or the bent sword could still be here. But that's the only item that could be here for him that's useful.
Yeah. Taking out Flea with that nice blaze kick.
Strong blaze kicks going on. I don't think it gets much stronger than this unless you have, like, sunshades and prism specs, basically.
Yep. I recall that there are some sunshades in play, but I haven't seen any prism specs.
Yeah, I haven't seen a single one of those. But they don't have them equipped. Maybe AzureCale didn't find them?
Maybe, yeah, I don't remember what dropped the sunshades.
He's got a lot of wall rings equipped.
Yep.
Yeah, besides that one set of sunshades, I think the accessories haven't been too great.
Yeah, there hasn't been too much in the way of accessories. Okay. And there's AzureCale at the final save point.
Alright.
Okay, 144. So Proccy is about 8 minutes behind AzureCale-ish.
Oh, wow.
Plus or minus, because I don't remember what the seconds were at.
Ah, okay.
But
yeah, close enough, basically.
Don't you want the treasure box? Probably filled with goodies! Found the treasure!
Did we just get an ellipses from SpeedGaming?
We did.
Ooh, can these chests have progression? Here in
I think any of them can, yeah.
Oh wow, okay.
So if the sword piece is here, then, you know, we could have a go mode on our hands. Alright, she dropped a Mega Elixir, that's nice. Alright.
Not
Get menu
foreshadowing at
glitch.
all.
Just use a Mega Elixir, yep.
There we go. Oh, me in chat. I was actually referring to those hidden ones. But yeah. I mean, Azure is blazing through this fight. He took down the first section real quick. And get it? Blazing. Blaze kicks. Yeah, I know. I'm just so clever. Oh, right. So attacks on the machine increase its defense, and magic attacks increase its attack power for damage?
It's more or less, yeah. Like, physical attacks will increase its defense, and when you have a combination attack like Blaze Kick, I think if it has an elemental property, it counts it as magic, basically.
Okay.
Right. Scruff has picked up a Prism Shard, which...
Oh, gosh.
I mean, I guess he can use, and he may be using right now. Turn it into Guardia Castle. Okay, Proccy summoning up that, mutant.
But that is the nature of the beast with Chrono Sanity. The items can be anywhere, and you know, like the chances of them being in those sealed chests versus the places that inside of the deck are basically the same. So it could have just, you know, could have been there instead.
Yep. They can be anywhere. But we will reiterate, for anyone who's watching this and thinks that this randomizer looks way too scary to play, that these are some pretty advanced flags we're using, and standard races are a lot simpler. So, please come join us.
That's a very good reminder. And, you know, I'm speaking from experience, and I will say recent experience. The community with the Chrono Trigger randomizer has been just absolutely marvelous. Everybody there is just kind and welcoming, and I have learned so much already. I consider myself pretty new, but the help I've gotten and the encouragement I've gotten has just been incredible. So if you're interested in giving this a try at all, again, remember what Lord Batsy just said. This is not your starting mode. This is a more advanced one. And there's lots and lots of very friendly people willing to help you learn and improve. So definitely come join us. And if you're interested in the, you know, the more volunteer aspect as well, you know, commentating or tracking or something like that, you're more than welcome to join up as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We can always use people. Alright, there's the MP Buster.
With those Mega Elixirs.
Just swag, just Mega Elixir, Mega Elixir. It's like Oprah up in here.
You get one, and you get one, and you get one.
The Gatling kick for like extra swagger.
Oh,
very nice. GG, AzureCale.
GG's to AzureCale, finishing with an official time of
149.50 something, I think.
50 even.
Okay.
And that is first place for AzureCale.
Very nice. All right. Let's
GG's in chat for him.
Yeah, let's get Azure in here for an interview. Welcome, GG.
Thank you.
GG, AzureCale.
Wow, right there.
Yeah.
And where's that?
Yeah, that was quite a race. Proccy's just a little bit behind you. You really took off on the Black Omen, actually. You two were fairly even, maybe until Death Peak, actually, and that's when you started to like really be pulling ahead. But
Yeah, and you know, to add on that, it was it looked like Procky was actually in the lead for most of it, but you managed to find the go mode just a little bit before. I think it was a few minutes. But like Lord Batsy just said, once you got to Death Peak and then the Black Omen, you just zoomed right on by.
yeah,
So,
nice Death Peak. I don't think you took any encounters.
Just one, but
Just the one. Okay,
yeah, it's one I have the hardest time getting past. But
fair enough.
between Flare and super buffing Ayla with magic tabs and Tailspin, it was super nice.
Yeah, no, that damage. That looks so much fun.
I know, right? It's nice to see such big numbers. So speaking of, I did have a question. Did you find the sunshades or not? Oh, that was
No.
on the jerky, wasn't it?
No, Jerky
No.
was Haste Helm.
Oh yeah, no, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Sunshades. We saw sunshades from somebody somewhere. We're having trouble remembering, but we saw that you opted to go with wall rings for I think like 2 of your characters and a bandana for another.
Yeah, I never really found any good accessories, so I kept the wall rings on for the magic defense and the bandana to give Luca just a little bit more speed.
Yeah, that makes sense. Interrupt just a second to say that Mr. Scruff has finally turned up that blade we were talking about in the basement of Guardia Castle.
Awesome. So MrScruffNinjaTuna is go mode at 152, but a different go mode than you see AzureCale and Procky. So.
Procky just entering the Mammon Machine fight.
I think Tuna just needs to check a couple of seal chests, and he'll find the ruby knife.
Oh yeah, it's actually unfortunate. He checked a couple of them, but he didn't check all of them. And yeah.
And he also had the gate key that he.
Where was that?
Hang on, I've got the spoiler log because I forgot already. The gate key was...
Oh, in Genodome, yeah.
Yeah, Genodome.
So, if he had just, like, because you guys had just gotten into go mode while he was doing Genodome, and he found that gate. So we were like, oh, if he goes to the sealed chests and gets that ruby knife, he can get the other go mode, which is supposedly a little more faster, right?
Typically.
So, yeah, typically, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
So, oh, yeah, GG's. Wait, no, that's not GG.
No,
I was just jumping in chat.
I saw a bunch of hearts in chat, and I was like, oh, it's GG.
No, that's just me saying hi to
chat. But yeah, it could have been a really, really tight race, even with MrScruffNinjaTuna, because he would have gotten that Granular go. But he decided to go do a few other things, and so led him off to a different path.
Yes, he did show off a lot of interesting areas for us, though. We got to see Ozzy's fort, we got to see all kinds of stuff. And we love those free mega elixirs. Just everyone's throwing them around, making it rain, basically.
I need a little HP, mega elixir. I need a little MP, mega elixir.
I think somebody in chat, I think it might have been Moon Blizzard, mentioned you should totally be using mega elixirs instead of shelters for me.
Just for...
Yeah, free shops is kind of fun sometimes, for sure.
I know, I didn't even think about the new shops when we were talking about free shops. We were just talking about balancing out the crap sanity in hard mode.
Yeah, but then you get to a new shop that's like, whoa!
Wow. Procky, I see, merely using a hyper ether after the MP buster.
I just noticed that. That was great. Like hovered over that mega elixir for a split second. I was like, nah. So, what did you think, AzureCale, about this incredibly fun mix of flags?
It's definitely I really like Chrono Sanity a lot, and throwing the tab sanity in there makes you feel really, really strong once you start throwing tabs on people, so that's really fun. I was a little worried this morning. I did a practice seed that was almost 100% clear and took about 3 hours, and I was like, oh no. But this is very much the opposite of that one.
Yes, this one luckily wasn't too trolly for you. Alright, GG Procky.
GG's to Procky.
Welcome.
Rocky's official time was 1:55:38, so just about 5 minutes behind, a little over that. So absolutely great time for a seed like this with all these flags.
Yeah, so GG.
Hey, thank you. Hi, everyone.
Well, hi, GG's.
Yeah, that was a good race.
We were just asking AzureCale what he thought about this mix of flags for this race tonight. What did you think about all of these flags combined like this?
Well, it's something that I've actually done on my own before, so I'm like a little bit familiar, and I like it, actually. I've talked about how I think it's pretty well balanced, even though it's hard mode and Chrono sanity and tab sanity. Everything kind of, if you play it right, you really can still have a jet scene.
Yeah, for sure. Would you say that the free shops sort of help to balance it, or do you feel like those weren't even needed?
I don't know whether it was needed or not, but it definitely it did help balance, I think.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because
And
like I was able to buy like fire absorb gear, lightning absorb gear, shadow absorb gear, and it was all cheap.
yeah.
Yep. I was saying earlier I hadn't even thought of the new shops when we were talking about cheap shops, and so I hadn't thought about mega elixirs only costing 1 gold, but there you go, that's all you need, right?
Yeah.
And I definitely liked that slight moment of hesitation when I think your Ayla was MP busted, had no MP, and you
Oh,
decided
yeah.
to like, nah, I'm not going to use a Mega Elixir. I'm going to use this Hyper Ether.
Oh yeah, I guess I could have done either one. Yeah,
It's true.
Call that muscle memory, I guess.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, fair enough.
We saw some other muscle memory things going on too, because we were discussing like, oh, maybe getting the actual tabs that are sitting down, like the ones in the shops and things like that might not be as advantageous in a mode like this, since pretty much all your other chests are going to be tabs.
Yeah, even at the very beginning, I picked up the magic tab in the house.
Yeah.
I was like, why did I do that?
Yeah, for sure.
Speed tabs are fine. Like I was even still checking chests just in case there were speed tabs.
Me too.
I think that's reasonable, yeah.
Very, yeah. Yeah, we were actually discussing that too, Lord Batsy and I. We were talking about like, oh, they're checking some more chests here, even though they're go mode. What do you think it could be for? And that makes perfect sense, the speed tabs.
Yeah. If everyone doesn't have max speed, you're not done with speed tabs, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. We've got Mr. Scruff still playing, fighting the skeletons that are before the slash fight.
And just so, if you're wondering in chat, so the go mode that MrScruffNinjaTuna has managed to find is the bent hilt and the bent sword, which requires the frog as well, so that you can power up the mass immune, fix it, power it up, and then open up Magus's castle, which is where he is currently.
Yes.
And then after beating Magus's castle, it breaks the seal to the Ocean Palace. Or did I skip the part?
No, that's correct. Normally you need the ruby knife to open the door to Queen Zeal's throne room so that you can get into the Ocean Palace, but defeating Magus will remove that door for you. So that's the alternate way in, basically.
Yeah. So it's nice to be able to see this third go mode. Also, if you notice, both AzureCale and Proccy, the final boss, is different. It wasn't Lavos. So the final boss for MrScruffNinjaTuna will be Lavos once he gets there.
Yes, correct.
And then I was just looking, I was like, wait, did he like power level somewhere? His Luca has nearly 700 HP, but I think that's a gold earring. Right?
Well, it could be because a gold earring did get dropped at one point. I also he's done a lot of stuff. He's been through Genodome. He hasn't been through WoW or anything like that, but he's level 30. I guess, yeah, that's probably a bit high for Luca at level 30.
I think the one that I played that was the this combination of flags. I think I ended up fighting Lavos at like level 47, which is it was just really high. I was like, "What? Wow, this Lavos is easy."
That sounds luxurious.
Yeah, with all the power tabs and magic tabs and stuff, and that high of a level,
Hmm.
it was nice. Yeah, thank you. Our tracker, Mian, definitely pointing out that MrScruffNinjaTuna. So I've known MrScruffNinjaTuna from the Link to the Past community as well, but they're about as new as I am to this. So um, it's I really like getting restreamed as a newer runner to show that like, hey, anybody can start anywhere. So it's really nice to see like
Hmm.
the like experience that everybody has coming into this. So
Yeah, absolutely. No, and I mean, Mr. Scruff is he's just kind of been unlucky with randomizers. Anyone who plays randomizers knows that you can get rabbit holed. There's always a little bit of that chance,
yeah.
unless the seed is just that restricted. So, he got rabbit holed this time. Next time it might not happen.
Absolutely. And I think we were talking about that earlier too, how I was explaining with Rando, the chances of the chests that he checked that were different from AzureCales and Prockies could have been those Go mode items. Like
Hmm.
if the ones in Genodome were the Chrono Trigger and Clone or something like.
Yep.
So it's just AzureCale and Procky happen to play. If there were a meta for this mode, they kind of followed that a little bit more closely, whereas MrScruffNinjaTuna, played more just like what he feels like is maybe more dense and so forth.
Mhm. But it's always a gamble either way, so
Either way, absolutely.
you never know. And yeah, as Mian points out in chat, it's true. Mr. Scruff has been joking in Discord about making a poor showing, but it really is true. He's playing fine. He's just been making different choices, and in this seed, unfortunately, they're the wrong choices, and it happens to everybody.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I had an actual tournament race earlier today in the LTDPR where this basically happened to me. I've definitely played a lot of LTDPR, so I don't have that. I'm inexperienced, So rando is always rando. So.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you, Mian, for pointing out that the only key item we didn't see was the Grand Leon, and it was on Mount Woe.
It was on Mount Woe.
As if you don't know, chat, our tracker does have access to the spoiler. He did send it to me too. I tried not to look at it, so I didn't accidentally spoil or something. But
yeah, I had it open, but I wasn't looking at it unless I was just sure that I needed to check.
Right. Yeah, it's one of those things. I'm not like the best at keeping my mouth closed sometimes. I'll just like say what's on my mind, and I'll be like, "Why aren't they going to Mount Woe for the Grand Leon?" Like, wait, what? Who knows that?
Right.
Also, I don't know if that's even a good play, actually. Like, because they already have a great party to go with, so like going to Mount
Yeah, I
Woe just
mean,
for Grand Leon is like what?
if you're not going to use Frog, I don't see why you would do that. But I mean,
Yeah.
there's good gear on Mount Woe in a normal run. Up in a tab sanity run, like, yeah, probably not.
Yeah. I did want to. I don't know if I did want to say thank you to our runners as well, AzureCale and Procky. Thank you so much for volunteering to run today. I think we were going to have a fourth today, but they weren't able to do it due to real life stuff. So it's absolutely awesome know that the Chrono Trigger community is, involved with SpeedGaming community, and that we're able to, join up like this and show people what it's all about. And it's just really exciting. So thank you for running today and showing us like some very, very, high level execution skill level.
Absolutely. Right, Mr. Scruff still making his way through the castle. Hitting one of the jerk birds. It happens.
Yeah, I still can't skip those birds very well. I've gotten like every single one of them before at some point, but I've never gotten them all in one like run.
I have trouble with the bottom one. I can almost never get past him quick enough. I can do the like backup strat, but
yeah, that very first one in the bottom. Yeah, that one you gotta be fast, right? Like as soon as you
Yeah.
get in the room.
You have to be fast, and then you have to stop running when you get to him to like get by.
Okay. And
right, outlaw. I just said jerkbird because I couldn't remember.
I mean, close enough. That's what the way I view him too. Somebody was pointing out to me, in the freshers room, one way to like work on skips is to play through a seed and save a state at each point that you're having trouble with some skips, and then just go back to those safe states and try to get those skips. Watch the tutorial videos. There's lots and lots of them, lots of resources for that. And then try to follow along and see if you can get the skip. Try it a few times until you get it, and you're all set usually.
Yeah, honestly, most of them are pretty easy once you've learned how. There's a few that are pretty nasty in the game, but by and large, they're fairly easy to learn. Yes. This fight that Mr. Scruff is on, the only element that will clear the screen in one go is water.
Really? I didn't know that either.
Yeah, yeah.
Good to know. Now, is that the case for all of the fights on this screen, or?
No, just that one, I think.
Just that.
The next one you can run away from, and then the last one is jugglers, so you can hit them with whatever.
Ah, okay. I didn't know you could run away from this one.
Just this one, yeah.
It's so weird. Just this one, okay.
Yeah.
I think the first one I tried to run away from, and it said I couldn't, so then I just assumed all of them I couldn't. That's so
That's
neat that
somewhat reasonable, yeah.
Is that Pokemon? It does kind of sound like it.
Oh yeah,
It's like, what is it? Dusclops? Durcops?
Oh yeah, Dusclops. No, I've just been playing the new game, so I've got Pokemon on the brain.
Same. Another cool thing to note is I think MrScruffNinjaTuna might end up having more tabs overall. So I'm curious to see if he throws a bunch of magic tabs on Ayla, and we get to see some even crazier.
See how Fire Whirl goes, maybe.
Yeah. So when did you start playing randomizer for Chrono Trigger, Lord Batsy?
When did I start? Oh my gosh, actually pretty recently. October or something, maybe?
Oh wow, yeah, that's very recent. You're so
I was
good. How'd you get
I
so
was
good so fast?
I was just already pretty good at Chrono Trigger, honestly. Like I had a lot of the basic skills, I guess. I played this game like way too much when I was young. Way too much. So I like the skips, I already knew most of them. You know, that I just came in with a lot of knowledge.
Ah, okay. I think I did. I remember either it was something you were a commentator before, or maybe it was something you typed out in the Discord. But I do remember you mentioning that you had a lot of prior vanilla experience. So
Yeah, no, I just played the heck out of it. You know, which is to say, like, if anyone wants to jump in and vanilla Chrono Trigger is your jumping point, it is a good jumping point.
yeah, uh, that's awesome. That's so cool. It's inspiring too. To see that you started so recently, but you're so good. Like your times are always so fast. So
I'm okay.
amazing. She's being humble.
Sometimes my times are fast, and then sometimes my times are I wiped 3 times to the last boss.
Yeah, but that happens, especially because you can go into that boss like really low level.
It's true, yeah. No, and I tend to be a little risky. I tend to want to get that last hit in for a ton of damage instead of healing, and sometimes that bites me.
Yeah. If you miscalculate or there's a little RNG in the damage too, right? Like
Yeah, a
every
little bit.
player isn't going to do exactly the same amount. So if it adds up just a little under and you just miss the damage to kill something and then it does a big white move.
Yep. Oh, speaking of potentially, here is the Magus fight, which in Jets of Time is randomized to be any of your other party members, or it could be Magus as well. And the fight works about the same as vanilla, other than the HP is randomized, actually, even outside of boss rando. That's only true for Magus and Black Tyranno. And the ultimate move they use will be of that character's element, so we won't be seeing dark matter from Evil Luca here. If she gets to it, we'll see flare.
I did not realize that's how that worked either.
Yep.
Cool.
And then actually, if you're playing with duplicate characters and you have like the weird palette swap characters, that's one where you need to look at the character whose palette it is and not who it looks like. I learned that the hard way.
Oh, is that how that works? Oh.
Yeah, I was fighting a Chrono with Frog's palette, and I was like putting on my white mail, like, yeah, I got this, and then I wiped a Hexagon Mist, so.
Oh, dang.
And then I put it on the wiki. That's how that works.
Yeah, speaking of, if you're interested in playing or looking into how it works, there is a wiki that an incredible team, including Lord Batsy and a lot of others from our Discord, has set up. I'm gonna post it here.
Yes, we've just gotten started, but it's going okay so far.
It's going incredibly well. I rely on that wiki. It has so much information. It is so nicely put together. It's easy to use. It's friendly. And it's really good. So if you're interested at all, that's a great way to look into what the flags are. There's just so much. There's like on the left, you have like a glossary basically of things you can see. So check it out.
Yes, so the reason we're not linking to the compendium is that Jets of Time actually has a lot of little adjustments, mostly to make it go faster, honestly. Like sort of the idea behind how it's programmed, and anyone who's actually one of the developers can correct me if you're in the chat, but it's sort of meant to mimic the feel of classic Chrono Trigger gameplay, but you level up a lot faster. Numbers have been adjusted so that things go more smoothly, or more challenges added where it's needed. So There are a lot of different things, and that is why we have our own wiki.
Linking to the inside of Procky's brain might also be effective, but that technology is not something we've discovered just yet.
That's where the server is hosted. Yes. No, the hosting and domain services are actually given to us by Cthulhu Crisis and Anguirel. I don't know if either of them are in the chat right now, but shoutouts to them because they were both very helpful in getting the base set up for us so that we could just jump in and get editing.
Yeah, big shoutouts to them. Yeah, to be honest, the community, you guys are just incredible. I've been so thankful for all of you. So. And MrScruffNinjaTuna giving Luca a taste of her own medicine with flair.
Yeah. Well, Cthulhu, you have also helped with the wiki, so thank you anyway, because you've been a big help with tons of stuff and tons of info.
100%. I mean, I didn't know the part about the wiki as much, but but Cthulhu has his own guides as well, and I'm sure he can post a link to that as well. I'm not sure if it's allowed to be posted.
Alright, and Mr. Scruff is through the evil fiend Lord Luca.
Evil fiend Lord Luca. Who looks really happy right now, actually. Oh, never mind.
I don't know, I can see her enjoying it. She can be a little bit of a mad scientist.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a friend who recently started playing the vanilla after a lot of encouragement from me and a few others. And he's like, so let me get this straight. The story is basically a mad scientist makes the world go crazy, and they... like,
yes.
Good description. Mad scientist works for Luca.
Mm-hmm. Alright, and then that fight will drop you in the Dark Ages. And Mr. Scruff's gonna head up to Zeal, and then to the Ocean Palace.
So for the longest time, I was taking the epic to the other teleporter and going through Nhasa to get to Zeal. It was until I was like, wait, I can just go straight to this one.
Yes, that's a little faster, unless there's just something you want to grab in Nhasa. If you're that desperate for ethers or something,
Right.
there is a shop there.
That one's guaranteed to have ethers?
No, but there is a shop if you don't have any.
Okay, yeah.
Like, if you have one of those really evil seeds and you have to, like, keep looking for ethers.
Those evil things definitely do happen, though.
Mhm. Yeah, he has skipped the new shop and gone straight for Golem. Which is possibly fine, because with all those tabs...
Yeah, I think at this point you're going to be a higher level than you typically are. And you also have all those tabs, so I think it's okay skipping things like that. Though
Yeah.
the amulets could still be useful.
Yeah, that is true. Status protection for Lavos is very key. Both the outer shell and inner Lavos use obstacle, and then the Lavos core is capable of doing that random status attack.
Now, how does obstacle work? Is it every seed it'll be a specific stat?
Yes, so normally in vanilla it's chaos, which is confusion. But in Jets of Time, each seed randomizes obstacle, so it'll be the same status for every player playing the same seed, but it's different within the seed. So it could be stop, slow, lock, etc., poison.
Gotcha.
You know, we usually feel, I think, that anything that doesn't rob you of your turn, you got off light. And that is true. Both Lavos 2 and Lavos Core can nullify your status immunities, so you have to watch out for that as well. That's what, the... Oh, what's the message say? I am brain farting really badly. Disables protective status or something like that.
Yeah.
That's what that means.
Perfect. And like Eurovos in chat mentioned, we are in Ocean Palace now. This is the other Go mode that you see, regardless of if you choose to do it through magazine, through Tyranno Lair, you will come to Ocean Palace and then eventually fight Lavos.
Yes.
And I don't know if you noticed this, Lord Batsy, but I saw a Shiva Edge on Chrono, so...
I did, yes. I think I saw that drop a little bit ago, but we were narrating somebody else's something. And Chrono with a Shiva Edge, no complaints.
Oh yeah. Is that the strongest? No, Rainbow, right?
Rainbow. That's the second strongest, though.
It's the second, okay. The Shiva Edge has a unique property that gives Chrono 4 times damage on his criticals rather than 3 times. So...
Yes, and while in vanilla the Shiva Edge's critical rate is really stupidly low, it's higher in jets. I think it might be 40% in jets, which isn't too bad.
I did not realize that. I felt like it was higher. I felt like he was getting more crits, and I thought I was just getting really lucky, but...
I mean, I didn't know until it came up in Discord, so we're all learning every day.
Yeah. I mean, and that's basically equal damage to a Confuse, right? Because Confuse is basically 4x damage.
Confuse is basically 2 critical hits, so...
Yeah.
Or standard criticals.
Yeah. So it's like getting a Confuse for free when you crit.
Yep. See, I don't know if Mr. Scruff was looking for the secret treasure room or not. It's the other way, but like down around.
Oh, I still get confused in Ocean Palace. Like I always forget how to get to that middle switch to open this door here.
Yeah, a lot of the treasure in Ocean Palace, except for that very last chest by that last save point, isn't necessarily all that great either. It's good, but for the point in the game you're at, you kind of want better things, so it's not necessarily a big deal to skip it.
And yeah, Eurovos, if that is that the vanilla based crit?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay, I think what Lord Batsy was saying is Jetsa has been altered to the higher crit chance.
Yes.
Rate. Yeah, like Mian is explaining. Okay, so it's either 30 or 40.
Yeah. I mean, I remember 40, and if the wiki says 30, it could literally be me typoing it, so take that with a grain of salt, but...
But the point is, you know, it's definitely higher than normal.
Yes. No, we actually we don't have everything on the wiki yet, but we do have a lot of the changes logged. There are a lot of adjusted weapons and equipment and stuff like that. I know that some battles have been changed so that you can run away from them when maybe you couldn't before, too. I don't remember which is which, but... I'm so used to jets now. Go out with Dino Tail to take out the scouts, although I would be remiss if I didn't point out that with Chrono there, you could use Falcon Hit, which is a lot easier to use against these guys. The scouts, the colored guys, will counter magic with their color if you don't hit them with their color.
Aha. So I always thought for some reason they countered any tech, so it's just magic that they count.
I think it's like the elementals specifically. So I don't know if Tailspin would work, but that would still only take one of them out, and there's a lot of them and they're mean, so usually you want to just clear the screen. So
yeah.
Frog Squash and Dino Tail are nice, but Falcon Hit will just do it immediately. No, Dino Tail and Frog Squash are not changed to remove the low HP need. But you can use that statue that spits fire at you a couple rooms back. Just put Frog or Ayla at the front of the party and stand in front of the statue and let it spit fireballs at them, and that'll bring their HP down.
Are there any other physically oriented AoE attacks?
Gosh, there's a few. I think, like... Am I thinking of the right one? Rocket Roll? The one where Robo picks Chrono up and spins him around and Chrono's got his sword out.
Yeah.
There's,
Okay.
like... That one's a centered on them AoE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that might still work, I think, because it's a
Oh.
larger radius than...
Yeah, there's a couple. There aren't too many that hit the whole screen.
Okay, it's max.
Yeah.
17. But yeah, those scouts will counter, like, shadow, fire, lightning, or water, as long as it's not their element. So...
Yes. We see Mr. Scruff just cast Luminaire on this fight, and this fight is safe for that because it's only got the Lightning Scout, so he won't get hit by a counterattack.
Nice.
But if you were to do that, yeah, if you were to do that on the next fight, it would kill the 2 yellow scouts, and then the other 4 would counterattack with full screen magic.
Yeah. You could potentially wipe on a fight like that, depending on your level and magic resistances.
I accidentally cast Dark Matter on this encounter once. It was not pretty.
Oh no. That's a 6th counter. 6th
Yes.
counter. Ouch. Did it even make it to the 6th one, or did you wipe before then?
I actually wiped on the last one, yeah. I was wondering, but I don't know if I would have been able to do anything after that, but... Because those were their counterattacks, they hadn't even taken their normal turns, so...
Oh, Dino Tail
Yeah.
just barely didn't kill them.
Ugh.
It killed 1, so the RNG
Yeah.
just one of...
Now at this point, we could revive Ayla, but if you take out the yellow one, you could just cast Fire too.
Yeah.
Honestly, there are plenty of alternate strats for this battle. If you have to, it just can take a really long time if you're not able to do it quickly, so that's why Frog Squash / Dino Tail / Falcon Hit, if you have it, are so highly recommended.
And are Dino Tail and Frog Squash physical damage?
Yes.
Okay. That's actually a really good question, Yurvos. Not only does life take longer in animation than a revive, doesn't it? I think it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, you know, you see Chrono doing his little floaty thing, and then... So, I've seen a lot of people using, like, their items as opposed to healing spells. Because, like, even, you know, spells like Kiss from Ayla and Aura from Marley, Slurp from Frog, you know, those are really cheap, but they do take more time than just using, like, a mid-tonic, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have the items, a lot of times it's just faster to do that. Also, this fight here, I did find out you can actually skip this.
You can skip them. That's a tricky skip.
Yeah, the way to the switch isn't too bad, but the way back out, I found was the tricky part.
Yeah, to get behind them, you just kind of have to be in the right spot and press up while walking, not running, and you'll get back to the switch without the scout noticing you. And then you have to pull some weird angled press down, but also left or right, depending on what side you're on, and continue to walk past them, and then they will notice you and you gotta run.
Oh, really? That's how... Oh, gosh.
Yeah, that's how I've always done it. They start to notice you, but then you can run out of the room before the battle actually engages. Luckily, those battles are pretty quick to run away from, so while those are tough skips, it's not that big a deal if you don't get them.
looks like MrScruffNinjaTuna opting to go with Luminaire Triple Kick Flare.
Yep.
I'm loving that Luminaire damage, by the way. He
Mhm.
gave a lot of magic taps to Chrono, and it's packing a punch.
Yeah, Magic Chrono is nice when you can pull it off.
Yeah, I mean, it's doing almost as much damage as Lucas Flare,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think Chrono's magic is maxed out. So, does Luminaire have a higher base damage? I know in the vanilla, Luminaire definitely had a higher base damage.
I think they're the same in Jets.
Okay.
I think Flare got bumped up to match Luminaire.
Ah, okay.
Possibly also Dark Matter. I forget how all the numbers landed.
Now, I will admit, one of the things I'm most sad about for MrScruffNinjaTuna is he's not going to get that new shop with those Mega Elixirs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these burps are dangerous from Golem 2. They're much stronger than the burp from Golem 1. Or did I say that?
Yeah, you said it right, I think. But
Okay.
you have to take 2 of them in a row if you kill them at the same time.
Yeah, and they're stronger, so
Mhm.
it's definitely scary if you're not, higher level.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that one.
But as Mian pointed out, that was a speed tap drop, so
No complaints there.
And MrScruffNinjaTuna has made it to the final boss. This particular go mode, which is Lavos, you will see here shortly. Lavos will have 3 phases, so...
Yep. And there's a nice little detail there. If you come in with the Masamune and not the ruby knife, you will throw the sword and not the knife.
Really? I didn't
Yeah.
know that. That's awesome.
I don't know who programmed that, but I love it, so...
Yeah, that's great. Does it have to be
Shoutouts.
specifically the Masamune, or can it be the Grand Leon?
Well, it's the... If you came through Magus' castle, you'll have reforged the sword, so
I see
it'll...
what you're saying.
Yeah.
I do wonder if Triple Kick plus Flare is stronger than just Blaze Kick, or did he not learn Blaze Kick yet? Because I know that... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, he might not have Blaze Kick. I recall Fire 2 being pretty late for the other runners. So I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he actually got Fire 2.
So it's like 2,700 plus 1,800? I think it's probably...
Yeah, that's, what, 1950 from the Triple Kick, 2750 from the
2,000, 2,750. Yeah, it's possibly... It's possibly a little more powerful the way he's doing it, but
a lot more costly.
Blaze Kick would at least save MP for Luca. Which is helpful when... I find it helpful thinking about your dual techs and thinking about MP and when you're going to have to refresh that. It is nice to use something like Fire Sword 2 or Blaze Kick, where one of them is using a lot fewer MP than the other, or even Antipode 3, like Marl's using less than Luca.
Yeah.
That way, you don't necessarily have them running out of MP at the exact same time and messing up your battle.
I love that he's giving Luca power tap.
Why not?
Just so anybody who's watching knows, the power tabs don't actually do anything for Luca since her damage is based off of hit.
Mhm.
but it's fun, and you have them. So I think he actually maxed her out.
Hey, why not? For the swag. I mean,
Yeah,
we
that's
can't make her punch anyone in the face, but if she punched anyone in the face, they'd be done. So,
See, I
yeah.
always thought it would have been great if they had the, you know how the Marley and Luca both have the animation when they're close to the enemy, they just like whack them.
Yeah.
I always thought
Yeah.
that would have been based off of strength, and then their actual attack with the weapon would have been based off hit.
I used to think so too.
It should totally be like that. Oh.
All right. Here we go with Lavos. Inner Lavos. Nice.
Oh,
Got one arm.
am I really quiet? Oh no. I think here, I can probably turn
Oh.
myself up. I didn't realize that was quiet.
Oh, I can hear you fine, but you know, you never know with different setups and.
Yeah. And also the way I sound on Discord might be different than the way it's coming out on the stream, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. All right, here's obstacle.
What status do we have today?
Oh,
Sleep.
sleep.
Well, you know how you
Well,
were saying the one that
Shadow.
makes you lose your turn?
Yeah, Shadow Slay will wake you up at least.
Yeah. Does poison also reduce your damage?
It does. It reduces the damage that you deal, which I actually think is really good game design because I am absolutely the player who will just be like, poison, pfft, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
But if it's gonna like mess up my damage, then I'm gonna get mad.
Then you care, yeah. And I think slow does the same thing. It also reduces your damage. So.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, since slow reduces your damage, haste should totally boost it.
Right?
You know, that's the buff we could give to Marley. Haste also, you know, the haste ability or stat.
Haste gives you attack up, yeah.
Yeah. Stackable with the sunshades and the prison specs, so 75% damage. Let's go.
Okay, so it's like 4,400 damage off those blaze kicks.
Okay,
so
it's just like you said.
It's slightly less than separate, but probably a lot more economical, so to speak.
Yeah, Luca only uses 8 MP instead of 20, so...
Yeah. Alright, and on to the Lavos core.
Yeah, that could be it too, Mian. I definitely, like, I have changed from a headset, which broke, to a microphone that sits on my desk now, so it could be me leaning or...
Ooh, got both menu glitches.
Wow, I still cannot get this menu glitch at all, so very well done.
Yeah, I'm impressed that he had the character flipping screen up too, but you can do that. I believe MrScruffNinjaTuna might have been the one playing when he accidentally discovered that during a race.
I did not realize you can blaze kick the left bit.
You can't.
Oh,
It will soak it.
Okay.
Oh, Chrono!
And that miss. Really?
Oh.
At this high of a level and you missed one?
I know, and that's terrible because with those 500s, I think that would have done it. That thing has 2,000, pretty sure.
Oh, it's 2,000? Oh,
yeah,
that's 3.
In vanilla, it's 3.
Ah, okay.
But I think in Jets it's only 2. Ah, and the time warp.
Don't like the time warp to that jungle area, because that's the ultimate physical damage.
Oh, here it comes.
He's nicely high level. I think he survived
Yeah,
it.
levels are good. This thing can hurt a lot, but yeah, okay, he's good.
Yeah, it's a very, very strong attack, but
Mhm.
that's those 600 plus HPs are.
Yeah, the first time I fought this boss back in vanilla, back as a child, it was Grandstone that ended my attempts.
Oh, yep.
It did over 999 to every character. So,
Oh my gosh. Okay.
yeah, I was probably just really low level because I'm sure I had gear and stuff, but
Oh, okay. See, I would have imagined it was the other way around. Like your gear was actually what was lacking, but because I think
oh
that
yeah.
for me is what the case was. I think like I had 999 HP on all my guys, but like
Mm,
didn't have the gear. So
yes. How's Luminaire do here?
oh, okay. AzureCale
Yeah,
mentioning in
okay,
chat
it's good.
that hard mode does make the right bit have 22,000 HP. Does it
Yes.
change anything about the left bit or the mid bit though?
Gosh. I'm not sure because I very rarely touch hard mode.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, as you're pointing out that you're much higher doing Lavos than vanilla, that is
Oh, yeah.
completely true. We have sort of optimized it for around level 30, plus or minus 5 or something.
Yeah. Okay, so left bit is 3,500.
Okay.
Center's 10,000, and this is for hard mode. So
Yes, this is for hard mode. Yeah, in normal difficulty, it would be 2,000, 8,000 on center, I think, and 20,000 on right.
oh, it's 20,000 for right bit on normal. Okay. And is there also an easy?
There is easy. I've never played it,
I think I
but
might
it
have
does.
played
There is an
easy.
easy flag. It does exist.
Okay. Yeah, easy, normal, and hard.
Oh, Lavos has gotten slappy. Okay. Only affects loot. Thanks, Cthulhu.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of these numbers are a big part of why we started putting a wiki together, because there are a lot of changes, and if you're used to the vanilla game, then you won't necessarily be doing your math right. And yeah, it's nerfed in jets so that you can beat Lavos at like level 30.
Yeah, so that's a key point that Lord Batsy and Azure has made. You are a much, much lower level. So in order to beat Lavos at this low of a level, you're going to have to
Oh,
nerf it a little
GG.
bit. GG's!
Yay!
All right, get your GG's in chat for
Yeah.
MrScruffNinjaTuna finding the second go mode. That was, he did it purely for show for us, so we could
Well,
see what it was.
get him in here for an interview maybe, and like huge shout out to Mr. Scruff for, I mean, I'm sure that he knew he was pretty behind, but like shout outs for finishing that and giving us that great show. GG.
GG.
GG, MrScruffNinjaTuna.
Oh, I'm sad it took so long, but at least I practically did everything.
Oh, no, don't be sorry. I think we were all enjoying it, watching you do the runs, and you also got a different go
Yeah.
mode than the other two runners, so it was
Mhm.
very nice for us all to see like the differences.
There were people in chat saying that they hoped you would finish so that we could keep watching for a while. So you granted
Yeah.
some wishes. So thank
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I was able to entertain.
Yeah,
Indeed.
no, that was a great wish. That was a great race, and that was cool seeing you get the character swap glitch, like both menu glitches again.
Yeah, that's still my trick. I for some reason cannot get the menu glitch just by spamming the one button alone. I have to do both buttons to get it, but at the same time I end up
Try
getting that.
Whatever works for you.
Yeah, for sure. So,
But yeah.
same question I asked Procky and Azure. What did you think about this combination of flags with the Chrono Sanity, Tab Sanity, Hard Mode Free Shop?
This set of flags is pretty fun. I definitely need to get more used to playing this mode, but I really enjoy being able to just jump into a place, duck out when I want to, or just fight the boss if I think it's faster to warp back to the beginning. My only, the only thing I have to say I regret doing is not doing Mount Woe, because I figured that's where the other two got their go mode.
Actually, no. So you were good to not go to Mount Woe. The other go mode items were in sealed chests, actually.
Oh.
Yeah. The Ruby
And
knife was in Guardia Forest in 1000 AD, and the Chrono trigger was in Truce Inn in 600 AD.
Oh, dude.
yeah,
I was this close to going back to Guardian Forest.
Yep.
Yeah,
you were
we were-
so close.
We saw you going for sealed chests, and it was like, oh, maybe he's gonna get it.
Do it.
Because you were a little bit behind the other two, but not significantly. But
And it was funny too because you got that gate key from Genodome, so we were like, oh, if you go straight to the sealed chest, which you did after Genodome, you started going sealed chest. If you had found the Ruby knife, you could have done that Ruby knife go mode, and you wouldn't have been very far behind at all. And we were wondering that you might have actually been able to surpass them because it's a typically a faster go mode than the Black Omen. So
yeah, they were both Omen.
But of
So it
course,
was
I ended up
fun.
finding both of the sword pieces, and I'm like, ah, dang it.
Yep.
We were wondering about that other sword piece for a while. Yeah.
Yep.
Ugh.
But yeah, I agree. I gave this mode a try, and when the practice came up, and I agree that it's fun to be able to go in something and decide whether or not you want to complete it or not based on what you found. And it kind of reminds me of the way that ALTTPR is done.
Yeah. Like a lot of the cases where you're either doing like a fast Ganon or something like a reduced crystals. I get what you mean there, yeah.
Yeah. But also, like I said to Proccy and Azure, big thank you to volunteering to do this race tonight. You put on an incredible show. Even I know you're relatively new. I think we both joined around the same time, and you're incredible. You're blowing through these seeds. You're getting skips. You're doing things like it's awesome to see how fast you're improving. So it's really cool.
I appreciate that. Yeah, for anyone that's
for
wanting to get into this, I am living proof that it is easily done if you just put in a little bit of effort.
Yes, please. If you want to learn, come join us. Don't be afraid to ask questions in the Discord. We've got a whole channel for it. People love answering them. It's super chill.
Absolutely. Like I said earlier, I absolutely love it in there. Everybody's so kind and so welcoming, and you learn so much, and it's just a fun time. So
yeah. Thanks again to our runners, AzureCale, Proccy, MrScruffNinjaTuna. Congrats again to AzureCale for winning the race. I think we're going to hopefully be live on probably our own channel, Jets of Time, next weekend. I don't know what we're racing yet, but we're gonna try to set something up. So keep an eye out for that. Any closing words from our racers, Smirk?
from me, just another big thank you to everybody involved in the community, like everybody here, Lord Batsy, Restreamer, MS Metroid, and Mian for tracking. And a big thank you to the racers again, and a thank you to chat as well for hanging out and having fun with us today, and supporting the community. Yeah, thanks all around.
Yeah, thank you everyone. And I think with that, we're probably ready to sign off and say goodnight.
Good night, everybody.
All right.
Night.
Good night. I'll see you next time.